and it does all set for a fantastic game from Good, Better, Bosch. And your quick tip in this game, DB?
Oh, I'll go to Bays, home ground.
Bays, undies, quickly.
Yeah, Bays.
All right, I'm going for Central now. I've changed my mind. Poppy is going to be telling us who he's going to go for in just a minute.
Central.
Okay, DB's your caller.
Down goes the bounce, up they go. Moller got the tap, immediately taken by Byrne for the Bays, but that kick was smothered. Player going to ground there, was met heavily by the Eagles. The Bulldogs with Simon Hill. The ball's at centre wing. A handball comes out to Daniel Holm. Holm over to Hicks. Hicks bangs it in towards centre half forward. The pack fly, getting up very high for the Dogs was in fact the player there in the Cardle, but he gave away the free kick, and this allows the Tigers to bring the ball out, and they've got it out there at half back. They advance to almost centre wing. The player almost tripped over. I'm trying to pick up the player as he bangs it in towards centre half forward. It's a very poor kick. There were 3 Central players there, and it comes off hand, taken by Hicks again, and he keeps it out here and gives it over to Joseph Hicks. The other one was Damien Hicks, of course, as the ball comes out to Gowan. Gowan gets a handball over, slipping over with Mola. Got it back now to Bellow. Bellow with a handball is good. Back now to Joseph Hicks. Hicks bangs it in towards centre half forward. They set themselves. It's all the Bays back there, almost to mark. Player met high on the left boot. It comes out towards the centre once again. A chance here for the Doggies. The handball comes over to Daniel Holm. Holm in turn looking for McGowan. McGowan almost runs into trouble, but gets the handball back. Once again pouncing on the footy there for the Dogs was Herrera, and the kick though is wide of its mark and taken by Byrne for the Bays.
Good work for Byrne, or good work by Byrne. Half-back flank comes grandstand side. His target was... looks as though it's Raiders on that left foot, kicks with that left foot, nice leg too, good work by, in fact, Simon Nicholas, finds a teammate just outside 50, that's Harwood, Mark Harwood. Grandstand side, 60 metres out from goals.
So a fair bit of movement, wouldn't you?
Well, yeah, there's a fairly strong northerly, and he's just weighing up his options. Central's a push back there, and I think Harwood may push himself, or may back himself now. No, he goes short too, so he didn't think that he could do the job. His target was Warrior. He provided a good lead. Couldn't take the ball, though, and it goes over the boundary line. Just 35 metres out from Glenelg goals. We've only played 2.5 minutes of this first quarter, and neither side yet to score.
That could have been a bad miss by Warrior, because he was in the clear, should have taken that mark and could have been having a shot at goal.
Ball thrown in the pocket. Harwood tries to take the ball out of the air. There's a player going in, Cook. He's met high for the Tigers, but goes to ground, and they'll be holding the ball with this crazy rule they've got at the moment. And Cook came up, wanted to go on with it, and that's a 50-metre penalty. A little left jab went in there that...
DB, there's very, very open left jab. That's reportable, isn't it?
Very much so. And it'll be... No, he obviously wasn't reported. Anyway, Herrera gave the handball over to Joseph Hicks. He's had a few touches already. Lillico dropped the mark. He goes in after the footy again, tries to pick it up, taps it out to his advantage. Can he go down? No, he can't. Now he pounces on the footy. The Tigers are there with him. The ball squeezes out to McGowan. McGowan back to Lillico's kick up towards full forward. Thumped away, taken here for the Tigers, and handball over to Sherwood. His left foot kicked to back here towards the boundary line, and it's out of bounds, grandstand side, half forward flank for the Doggies.
Boys, Byrne started particularly well. It's good to see coming back from the Crows that he's really come back with full of confidence, full of vigour, and he's into everything at the moment.
Yeah, both sides showing a lot of intensity early, as we see Golding doing the ruck work for the Glenelg side. For Central, it's Radley Mollo. Central and District around the clinches have been pretty good. A quick kick forward by Lillico goes to centre half forward. This is where they're falling down, just around this centre half forward region. They've had plenty of thrusts into their forward 50, but just bust the defence of Glenelg. Michael Raiders with the ball at the moment as the Bay attempt to bust the defence. They can't. Go shorts again. Good work. It's Stewie Dew inside 50, and even against a strong breeze, Andrew Underwood, Stuart Dew has every chance of kicking this.
Well, that's right into the teeth of that breeze, and that breeze is very swirly. It would be an unbelievable kick, Smithy. I don't see how we could sneak that one away. Well,
he will have it be going. He'll be kicking from around about 45 metres out, right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, which says there's no score on the board at the moment. Stewie Dew, we know he plays for Port Adelaide. Left foot drop, punts on it way. It looks like it's going to be pretty good. The umpire says no, it's gone straight across the face of the goal for the first score of the game. That's Central District's 1 point on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Glenelg yet to score.
Was good off the boot though, boys, wasn't it? The first 80% of the travel was beautiful, and just right at the end the wind catched it, or caught it and just pushed it right.
Ball kicked out to the half-back flank. I think it's Sherwood out there that may have marked the ball for the Bays, right in front of the scoreboard. There's a kick along that outer side boundary towards centre wing. Oh, pushing the back there, and the umpire saw it, and it'll go back the way...
I reckon it was his own man that pushed him.
At the back of the pack, yeah, there were two bays in the middle, a doggy in the front and a doggy at the back, and Ford did the pushing.
Oh, good smother.
The kick was smothered, however, taken by Sujai Cook for the bay. Kicks it up to the half-forward flank. Warriors there, but so are the doggies, and picked up by McGowan. He goes to ground. In goes Hereda. He's got the footy, but he goes to ground too. Out comes Damien Hicks, gives it over to his teammate. Finally, it's McGowan who gives the ball over to the big bloke Geester, who bangs it up towards the half-forward flank. Offhand, Golding couldn't take the mark. A chance here now as the player goes straight for the boundary line. That's Raiders, and will go out of bounds on that right half-forward flank for the doggies.
Just interesting, Undies. They're playing Matt Golding a kick behind, and yet they're kicking with a 5-goal breeze. Not attacking football when you maybe should be.
Well, not attacking football either, but traditionally SNFL always play the ruckman a kick behind. I think it's a silly move in some cases.
Ford doing the ruck. Golding, the player we just spoke of, took the ball out of the contest, handballed it to Kelly. Kelly searched for an opponent, then held with the ball. The umpire thought about paying the kick, decided not to. Dew, while he was thinking, got the ball, played on quickly, found his teammate. That was Lilico. Lilico's kick forward wasn't spot on when it needed to be, and the mark was being taken by the Bays. They transfer play to McEntee, grandstand side. He was good a fortnight ago and started pretty well today. He goes short just out of defensive 50, finds Kelly. Kelly will change direction, attempting to keep possession, and does so. Probably a risky kick, given the circumstances. It didn't gain any ground and kicked across the face of goals.
They're not kicking anywhere near with any length they should be, should they? They're just going backward and forward, and that's playing into Central's hands, particularly with the use of the breeze they've got at the moment.
You're right, the Bays come grandstand side as we speak, and the ball finds itself over the boundary line. In front of our 5RPH commentary position, we're bringing you SANFL football, compliments of good, better Bosch.
Just in that, they've had 4 or 5 possessions to get it from the back pocket to sort of centre wing, where their one kick should have been down here.
Okay, just 1 point, the doggies. The Tigers yet to score on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The ball kicked out of that pack. James Burns got it, but they've got him kicked off the ground by Joseph Hicks. The ball thrown out there to Kelly for the Tigers. He bangs it up towards half forward. They converge on the footy. Out comes Big Geister. The handball back is good. Oh, player met high. No, the umpire says play on it. It ends up back with Geister. He goes short. Out there looking for McGowan. McGowan right out there at half forward. He's got plenty of room to move. He'll put it on the lead, or put it on the boot, looking for the lead of his teammate. Oh, player pushed out of the contest was McArdle, and McArdle's got the free kick right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, which shows the doggies 1 point, the Tigers yet to score.
Yes, Sam McArdle playing his 20th game in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Was a good lead and a good attempt to mark, but he was tackled over the shoulder and did receive the resulting free kick. And he is kicking right into the teeth of this breeze. It's going to be a good, strong kick to get there. Kicking from around about 35 metres, and Central District so far have done all the attacking. It hasn't been up in the forward area of Glenelg at this stage, and they're kicking with the long breeze. McArdle comes in, looks pretty good, but just again drifts across the face, has it? No, he's gone through for a major score, I should say, not a minor score. They're first, Central District's first. They go to 1 goal, 1-7. They lead Glenelg get to score on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Well, it was a good kick, boys, wasn't it? He kept it just under the breeze. I was thinking as he took the mark, I was questioning their method into the forward line. They seem to always be pushing it to that scoreboard side, and hence when having a shot at goal, they're kicking into the teeth of that breeze. One would have thought it'd be better to go straight down the ground.
Have a look at that windsock going now. It's unbelievable.
Yep, big wind here at the Bay Oval, and a good start by the visitors, Central District. The ball bounced down the Bays through Byrne, fighting hard. A bit of experience there. Byrne to Hill. Hill, a standing start. 50-metre kick inside, attacking 50. Good leap from behind. Cook, front and centre, grabs the crumbs and kicks towards goals. Just offline and out of bounds, 5 metres out from their goals. And Central District's 1-1-7, but Glenelg into attack.
That's what Sujay Cook needs to do, boys. You called it well, Poppy. He needs to get front and square. That's where his bread and butter is, and he started off pretty well this afternoon.
He did too. Well, the ball to be thrown back in. The ruck contest will be between Simon Nichols and also the big fella there, Muller. Goes towards the boundary line. I think it's Glenelg free kick. In fact, it will be. And the recipient will be Benjamin Moore. Just 10 games under his belt, but 10 goals, so he's good for a goal a game. And he'll have every opportunity to kick his 11th goal.
In his 11th game.
Well done. I was hoping someone would pick that up.
Well, young Ben Moore, he's on a very, very acute angle, around about 70-degree angle. Coming in, the right foot drop punts on its way, drifting past the face of the goal. Can we get a mark? No, it's been punched over the boundary line for a throw-in, deep into Glenelg's attack.
Yeah, the big chap Geister actually looked like he had control of that footy, but it just slipped out at the last moment and the boundary thrown. So the Bay still with an opportunity here to register a major as the ball is thrown in, or any number of players. Stephen Nichols got the tap down to Chickwit, and he couldn't burst clear. The ball's back into a pack of players. Out comes Harwood, the handball out wide to Kelly. Kelly's going to bang it on the right boot. Will it come back? It is coming back, I think. The goal umpire's got a smile on his face. Doesn't mean much sometimes, but he is this time and through for a sausage roll to the Tigers. Their one straight goal. They trail the Doggies 1-1-7 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Well, it was a good goal from the old stager. It's an interesting duel in the middle between McGowan and Kelly. Kelly's the more stay-at-home centreman, likes to run the squares, whereas Ricky McGowan, he loves running the boundaries, getting his kicks wide. They're both very good players and prolific ball getters, very important for their side. But Curl sneaks one away early.
Yeah, he does too. Both players hardly waste a possession. We found a few moments ago McGowan found McArdle, and on that occasion Kelly found the goals. McGowan, again, held without the ball. I thought play on was the call. He was in a headlock at the time. Good tackling. The Doggies are showing a bit of aggression. It's good footy. The ball bounces out again. From half-back line, they've been good, the Doggies, under a fair bit of pressure too. Ooh, Joseph Hicks goes searching for a teammate. Too high behind play, and the free kick will go to Sujay Cook. Yeah,
Daniel Stevens came through and really did try to take Sujay's head off with a, what would you call that? A forearm, I think you'd call it, Poppy. But, gee, if he had hit him, he would have been picking up his head from the Glenelg tram.
Well, here we go. Sujay Cook, inside centre square. Kicks a 60-metre kick with that strong breeze right to the teeth of goal. Warrior comes in to try to keep the ball in play. Can't do so. 5 metres out from Glenelg goals. And on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, it's the Doggies 1-1-7. The Bays, one straight goal.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Daniel Stevens involved with Sujay Cook before he got the 50-metre, but wanted to go on with it. You wonder sometimes. It almost cost them a goal. The ball at half-back. It's Bello emerging with the footy. The defensive 50 bangs a drop punt into the centre of the ground. In front, it's almost a mark there to Ford. Couldn't hold it. The Bays come out. The handball to Golding. Golding goes one way, then the other. Handball's out further afield. And there's taken there and kicked up towards the half-forward flank. Carr was the player as it comes to ground. Chance for Byrne. He'll go towards the boundary line with the footy underneath. That's a great tackle. The umpire will should have been rewarded, I thought, because he fell to the ground with the ball still in possession, and there'll be a bounce down right on that half-forward flank.
That's one thing I can't understand about SNFL football. He's tackled, he's ran with the ball, he's been taken to ground, and he's not given a free kick. The tackler should be rewarded in that situation.
Half-forward flank, grandstand side. The Bay starting to lift in the last 3 or 4 minutes. Byrne to Harwood. Harwood to Carr. 3 AFL players involved in that passage, and this player could have been there a couple of seasons ago. Kelly, handball to Hill, butted up with a nice handball to Golding. Golding kicks sloppy, but finds a teammate nevertheless. Inside 50, it's Sujay Cook again, who after a indiscretion earlier has found himself in the play quite a few times.
Kick the goal, Sujay Cook will kick from just outside 50, goes up with a drop punt. It's looked like it's pretty good on the way. Can it go through? It's hit the post. That's Glenelg's first point. They go to 1-1-7. They are actually equal with Central District to 1-1-7. All tied up here on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. It's good, better Bosch football from the Bay Oval.
Interesting, wasn't it? That post was actually shaking when the ball hit it, because I think one of the players bumped into it, and would have been interesting to see what would have happened if the post had remained motionless as the ball is kicked out. Golding makes front position but couldn't control the footy. He then does well to pick up it. Again, he's tackled on all sides. The ball drops to the ground, tapping it between his legs with Bella. Oh, player went to use the boot there, and Daniel Stevens is still into a pack of player. The umpire standing there like a statue. As player met high there with Lillico. He goes to ground, emerging with the footy, however, for the Tigers, and kicking it high up towards the full forward area was Byrne offhand. A chance now for Sujay Cook. If he can pick it up, he can't do so. Player met high again. They're going down like ninepence. Kicked off the ground by Ben Moore towards the boundary line for a throw-in in the right full forward pocket.
And you haven't seen much of Warrior at this stage?
No, enigmatic player. Wouldn't have picked him up myself, but anyway.
No, he can be a match winner if everything goes his way. The ball thrown back in, and attempted to take it out of that contest was Glenelg. They can't do so. Warrior applies the tackle. The player we just spoke of, 15 metres out from goals. And the player we just spoke of, Warrior, who Undies wouldn't have picked up, was always going to kick the next goal after that, and he's done so. He's kicked the Bay second here at the Bay Oval. Glenelg 2-1-13, Central 1-1-7 as we take a break, and check scores all around the country. Compliments of Michelle's Patisserie.
We've got Essendon 8-3-51 leading Hawthorn 5-1-31. Bulldogs 9-7-61 leading Carlton 3-3-21. In local football, Port Adelaide 3-1-19 leading South 1 straight goal 6. We've got North Adelaide and West Adelaide 1 straight goal 6 points apiece. And Norwood 2 straight goals 12 leading the Eagles 1-8. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Arndale. Let's go back to the Bay.
Yeah, back in the centre, the bounce down has been affected. Gowan actually got the ball out, but it's been marked by James Byrne for the Tigers. Byrne backward of centre, bangs it on the right boot towards the half-forward flank. It's going to fall short of Harwood, who let out and then handballed over the top to Moore. Moore's got a player loose across the ground. That's Simon Hill, and Hill will kick from about 75 metres. He couldn't possibly make the distance as he kicks a drop punt. It's going to fall short. The big men will fly. Oh, one-handed player hung onto there for the Dogs. The umpire was right there. A raider slipped to the ground. It's lucky for the Doggies, as they will emerge with the footy as it comes out to centre half back, and it's kicked right out here towards centre wing. Up they fly. Oh, good mark. I would have paid that. He got met high, that player, but the umpire says play on it. It's picked up by Carr. Carr chips it over the top as it comes to ground. An opportunity now as it comes away to the half back flank, taken there by Lillico. He's kicked towards centre wing. He was looking there for Ford, and it's out of bounds centre wing on the grandstand side, right in front of the 5RPH commentary position. If you've just tuned in, the Tigers are 2-1-13, the Doggies 1-1-7 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Ball thrown back into play. Ford and Golding. Golding tapped it down, looking there for the player there in Gowan. He tries to control the footy. He almost did so. In goes Bello. Does it well on the left boot. The ball was touched though. That message relayed up towards full forward by the umpire. Now's the chance now for the Tigers, picked up by Venables. He's feinting the ball and in handballs over the top. Well done to Dzborski. Dzborski on the left boot now towards the centre wing. It's going to fall awkwardly. Tapped on to the advantage of McGowan. McGowan tries to burst through the pack. Almost gone for holding the ball. He was tackled by Warrior, falling on the footy there, and there's a free kick. It'll go the way of the Central District's Stewie Dew, and Dew now will bang it from the centre. There's a prodigious drop punt. Up they fly. Golding's up there. 3 Bay players up. There's no one down now. Pounced on by Gowan. He bangs it in with the left boot. Will the ball carry it? Well, I think good shepherding in the goal square by McArdle, and a goal to the Doggies has tied the ball game up here at the Bay Oval on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Both the Tigers and the Doggies 2-1, 13 apiece.
It was a great goal there by McGowan, wasn't he? He looked up, saw the opening square, and great shepherd in there by the Central District's teammate, and it just had enough carry underneath to get over the pack and go through for their second goal.
It was a very good goal, changed by Central with Lillico off and Michael Stevens on. Lillico injured in a good aggressive tackle by Richard Kelly some minutes ago.
Actually, the goal kicker was Gowans, not McGowan.
So, all locked away again here at the Bay Oval. Deep into the first quarter, the tap by Golding only goes as far as the Central District player in Rick McGowan. Taken illegally, play on was the call. The umpire will bounce it down again. The centre of Bay Oval here. A good hard contest and some good passages of play. Both sides improving as each week goes by. This occasion will be Golding up against Central's Radley Moller. Golding's been pretty good, taken high. No play onto the goal. Warrior couldn't get a clear possession. McGowan can, as he normally does. Quick kick forward. Can't find a teammate. The Doggies are getting numbers to the contest. That's the key. Stuart Dew was taken around the ankle by Richard Kelly. Will get the free kick. Golding's in trouble in the centre of the ground. He's probably got a poke in the eye, I'd suggest. Dew to the teeth of the goals, and he found a teammate. A pretty strong mark there, although it was uncontested. McEntee just lost sight of the ball, and the mark was taken by Conan Ford.
Yes, Conan Ford playing in his third game. He's kicked a goal in each game so far, and the ball carried a little bit further than what McEntee thought, and Golding has come off, and the player to come on for the Glenelg Football Club is Gigney. But the player there for Centrals, in Ford, lining up 15 metres out directly in front, shouldn't have any trouble in kicking the goal, and he puts it over there into the school, and that's Central District's third on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. That's Central District's 3-1. They'd lead 19. That's over Glenelg 2-1-13 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. We've just got into time on in this first quarter undies.
Well, it's been a pretty good opening, boys, hasn't it? That win really hasn't played a huge part on the skills. The skills have been pretty good considering, and I would say that at quarter time, Tony McGuinness would be absolutely seething that the Glenelg club have really wasted what breeze there is. Central's playing pretty good footy.
They are indeed. The ball back in the centre of the Bay Oval, and it's going to be Moller up against Gigney on this occasion. Kelly, nice sleek handball, finds more left foot kick, goes looking for Harwood. One-on-one contest, bounces towards the boundary. The race is on, and Sujai Cook wins it but can't beat the boundary. There'll be a throw-in 60 metres out from Bay Goals. Grandstand side, as Smithy just told you, into time on of this first quarter. And Central District's kicking against a pretty strong Northerly. 1-goal leaders. The ball thrown back into play. Shepherding's the call, and the free kick will go to the Bays. And the player is Simon Nicholas.
Unbelievable.
Well, hasn't played a lot of football, 32 games, a left footer, will kick from 60 metres out. It's a nice looking boot. It kicks deep within centimetres of the goals. Hasn't gone over the goal line, it has not. A mark has been paid, and it has been paid to David Hams, the ex-South Adelaide player. He's on what you would term an impossible angle.
No, he'll kick it. He's got the breeze. He's kicking to the end that's favouring the breeze. All he has to do is run out to the point of the square, put it on the check side, and it should go straight through.
Smithy used to kick those from raspberry and cokes at training.
Easy. Bread and butter stuff, this thing. But he's actually going for the drop punt by the look of it. But no, he's run around on the right foot. He's kicked it in, and the goal umpire says, that'll do, mate.
1 point.
So Glenelg now go to 2 goals, 2-14. They trail Central District's 3-goal, 190. But actually looked a pretty good kick off the boot, I must say.
Look, it did look a good kick off the boot, but he didn't do himself any favours, did he? He could have come back a lot further and run out another 3 or 4 metres before anybody got near him and open up the angle. However, it was a good mark in the first instance.
Right, Gira with the ball to bring it back for the Doggies. And he'll bring it to the grandstand side. Only just. Gigney's in front. Molar's at the back. Gigney got to be paid the mark, surely, umpire.
You kidding,
Gigney was in front.
Umpire, you are a
That
goose.
was a very poor decision, I thought.
Now, let me just tell you who that umpire is there, D, but he was the one that we had all the trouble with last year. Colin Rouston.
Absolute goose.
That should have been a mark to the Tigers. Fair dinkum. Anyway, the ball taken by Gowan. Gowan gives it over the top to Geister. He threw it away. And, in fact, the umpire's paid holding the ball when actually it was a throw. It was Stewie Dew, actually, that threw the ball. The umpire said holding the ball. And anyway, it's going to be the little bloke in Benjamin Moore. He bangs a drop punt. The breeze is definitely favouring that end. Up they fly. Off hands a chance here now for the Tigers. Hosking picks it up and bangs it in towards the goal square, but he's off line and through for the minor score. So 2-3-15 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Central District 3-1-19.
Brent Guerra to bring the ball back in for the Doggies. The Port Power listed player, of which there's a few of today. Others include Stuart Dew, of course. There's Josh Carr out there, Michael Stevens. Nevertheless, SANFL football is what we're covering, and we're going grandstand side where the Doggies are changing direction and looking for Heath Hopwood, and they find that player. So far, they've been pretty resilient against this strong breeze and a fairly aggressive Glenelg side, and currently lead by 4 points. They're 3-1-19, Glenelg 2-3-15 as Hopwood brings the ball grandstand side. Can he find a teammate? Herrera whips the ball out of the hands of the Tigers Venables and over the boundary line. So there'll be a boundary throw in, half forward flank, grandstand side, the Bays into attack.
I know Undy said that Tony McGuinness will be livid, but you must look at the other side. Peter Jonas will be very happy with this quarter of football.
Ball thrown in, James Byrne met high, and I thought that was a fair enough punt, but the umpire said no, it wasn't. So James Byrne emerges with a footy and bangs it in towards full forward. Up they fly, almost attempted one-handed by Geister. Off hands, a snap by Nicholas. Is it going to go through? I think he may have missed to the left-hand side. No, it's a goal! Well, this goal umpire's got all the tricks under the sun, I tell you. And he's put it through for a major, so the Bays in front, 3-3-21, Central District 3-1-19 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Let's go around the ground, courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
The Eagles 3-4-22 lead Norwood 2 straight goals 12. Port 5-2-32 lead South 3-2-20, and North 4-2-26 lead West Adelaide 2 straight goals 12. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Hollywood Plaza. Back to the Bay.
Well, back here at the Bay, it's Glenelg 3 goals 3-21. They lead Central's 3 goals 190. And a good quarter of football so far. Glenelg kicking with a pretty strong breeze. Central District's doing all the play early, but Glenelg finishing off strongly in this second half of this first quarter.
Gigney v Moller in the centre of the Bay Oval to contest this rucking duel. The tall timber. Gigney coming on for an injured Matt Golding. Nothing serious, we don't think. Maybe a poke in the eye. So we will see Golding back on the field probably in the second quarter. Well, Bay supporters would be hoping so because he was pretty good in the amount of time he was on the ground.
Poppy, that since he's gone off, they've done all the attacking because they've got the extra player at the fore of the ball rather than playing one behind.
Yeah, fair observation too. Moller gets the tap on this occasion though, and the doggies go forward towards half-forward flank. Stuart Dew, front position, tries to take it one hand. Was he held without the ball? No, play on's the call. Central District player there, and Chrissy Gowans lost it for a moment, but then was infringed upon and took the free kick. Plays on quickly. Stewie Dew instructs his team mates up forward where he wants them to run, and he kicks it in that direction. Pretty sloppy kick though, held in by Danny Holm, the skipper of the doggies. 40 metres out from the doggies' goals, and they trail now by 2 points with only seconds to go, you'd think, before the quarter-time siren goes.
Down goes the bounce. Lillico tried to tap it away, but it was taken by Chigwitten. He bangs it towards the centre wing. Will it beat all players over the boundary line? It will, for a throw-in right in front of the 5RPH commentary position, with the Tigers leading 3-3-21, Central 3-1-19 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, well into time on, as the boundary umpire about to dispatch the ball back into play.
There couldn't be too much time on though.
No, Moller and also Simon Nicholas, I should say, comes off hands to Hamblin as he gives it over now to Joseph Hicks. Hicks on the left boot, centres the ball, coming through like a train there. Was Bello, but standing his ground. Good, strong mark there taken by Carr. He gave it over to Hill. Hill got the lead of Cook. Cook got to be paid the mark, if not the free kick, and he's been paid the free kick, in fact, and he'll go back. He's kicking from about 70 metres as he goes short. He's got a player out there in Ben Moore, and Moore tries to gain a little ground, took the mark and took a couple of backward steps, and he'll kick for goal just outside 50.
Yes, he will kick out from the outside of the ground, opposite to the 5RPH commentary team. We're here for Good, Better, Bosch. SANFL football live and great on Saturday afternoons. And young Ben Moore will kick from just outside 50. Pretty hard angle, around about 60-degree angle on the outer side. Kicking with the aid of the breeze. Comes in, the drop punt's on its way. Will it have the distance? It looks like it won't. It's landing. It's got a big, huge fly there from the Glenelg player. And the Sujay Cook, Warrior gets a quick handball over to the player in the Glenelg, and that was Hastings, was it? And it's a good spoil away from Centrals. And it looks like it's going to be a bounce up. And no, it's come back to Sujay Cook. He got it quickly onto his right foot boot. And has it gone through for a goal? No, it's gone through for a minor score. So Glenelg now 3 goals, 4. They lead 22 points. They lead Central Districts 3 goals, 119 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And we've played 4.5 minutes of time on in this first quarter.
The ball to be brought back into play once again. Grandstand side beating the go, and that's a kick. Oh, that should have been marked there by Hamblin. Went straight through his hand. James Burns got the foot. He gives it to Hill. Hill will line up, goes bang. The ball touched off the boot. It's going to go in towards the square, and I thought it was touched off the boot, but obviously it wasn't because the mark has been claimed. And not so sure who's got it down there. It might be Gira, is it?
Could well be, I think, DB.
And he's going to kick it with the left boot towards the half-back flank. Up they fly through the hands there of Hopwood, and it's out of bounds left half forward flank.
Disappointing there by Hosking. Just got in Burns' way as he was attempting to shoot for goal. Had an open passage, except for Hosking. Nevertheless, the ball 60 metres out from the Bay goals. Ball thrown back in. Good work too. They're just working it forward pretty effectively too, are the doggies. Harwood gets in the way though on that occasion. A quick handball to his teammate in Simon Nicholas. He gets the Bays to within 40 metres of goals, but Radley Muller is the stumbling block, goes towards that outer side. He's found Chris Gowans, who leads the race for the ball and does it ever so sweetly, and then finds a teammate in the centre of the Bay Oval. His teammate is a Murray Hamblin, who kicks to McGowan. McGowan still inside the centre square. A beautiful looking leg. Maybe just lacked a little bit of air. In fact, it did. He's still found a teammate in Stevens. Daniel Stevens, a kick around the body. The ball just bounces towards the doggies' goals. Coming through nicely is Venables. Venables ever so calmly kicks the ball towards the outer side, maybe too calmly because there was a bit of pressure at the end, and it goes out of bounds on the full. A doggies free kick just underneath the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and I think it could be Michael Stevens who has that ball, and he'll kick from outside 50 against this strong northerly with his side trailing by 3 points. Stevens from inside 50 now. A beautiful looking leg off the boot. No problems with the distance. A slight problem with the accuracy. Hit the post, through for a minor score. The Tigers 3-4-22. Central 3-2-20.
Yeah, Josh Carr to bring the ball back into play for the Tigers. Been nip and tuck in this quarter. Perhaps the Bays haven't done what they hoped they would do. And that's kick 3 or 4. And be in advance of the of the Bulldogs. The ball offhand taken by Kelly on the left boot towards the half-forward flank, thumped away by Joseph Hicks. Pouncing on the footy was Hosking, gave it to Hill. Hill with a pass in towards 10.5 forward at all. The doggies, a player almost took the mark. He was going to mark it, but then the body got in underneath him. It came to Bello, I think it was. The ball on the ground. Here's a chance there for Warrior. A lightning handball to Harwood. Back to Warrior. Warrior over the top to Hosking. He's got to run into the open goal and goes bang from about 10 metres. Good play by the Tigers. 4-4-28 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. The Doggies 3-2-20.
Yeah, it was good play by the Tigers. They just kept the ball alive at every cost. And a great effort by Eugene Warrior in a couple of plays there to get the handballs back, give it to Hosking to run into an open goal and kick his first for the quarter.
Good play by the Bays. They're going to go into quarter time. You would think about a goal up. They really should be 4 or 5 up given this breeze. Just their method in the forward line, you'd have to perhaps question it. And as the footy comes back, or is it no, new footy? Some young kid on the back of Gower Street's got a new Rossi Faulkner to take home.
If he's lucky, I wouldn't want a new Rossi Faulkner myself. But here at the Bay Oval, it's 4 goals, 4-28. Glenelg, they lead Central's 3 goals, 2-20. And we've actually played around about 8 minutes of time on in this first quarter.
Bounce down to take place. It'll be Gigney to do the rucking duties for the Bays, and he'll do it against Moller. Bounce down. Gigney got the leap in right at the right moment. Got the tap too, but only goes as far as Hopwood for the Doggies, who kicks towards the centre of the ground. And running with the flight of the ball, a good mark by Byrne. He goes towards the outer side, but he's beaten by the quarter-time siren. So it's quarter-time here at the Bay Oval for good, better Bosch football. It's Glenelg 4-4-28, Central's 3-2-20. We'll give you better players and goal scorers for this first quarter after this short break, courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
You can keep up to date with what's happening around the blindness agencies.
Young kid, and he really sets them alight. He's actually not. He's going back to centre half back. When we saw them last, he went to centre half forward and turned the game around for him. And in that quarter, he only touched it the once. And look, I don't know why they continue to do that. Last year, Smithy, if you recall, they kept running him off the bench. Yeah. And when he came on, he always did something terrific. But give the kid a run. Yeah,
good to see Golding back in the ruck too, Poppy, for the Bay side. Obviously recovered from that poke in the eye.
Exactly. So, he'll be the number 1 ruckman in this second quarter. We're looking for a cattle crash repairs mark of the day as well. Probably James Byrne running with the flight of the ball was a decent, courageous sort of mark, but nothing spectacular.
Hams.
And I'm sure that, David Hams on the gold line. He didn't finish it off, but he took a good mark. And that's a contender for the cattle crash repairs mark of the day, which at the end of the year may earn a player $500 worth of cash or product. Good, better Bosch football here.
Does that mean he have to bring his car?
Yeah, he'll have to. Or a friend's.
Right, the umpire holds the ball aloft, about to start the second quarter here at the Bay Oval. Down goes the bounce, favours Golding, who takes it out of the air. A double-handed take out of the air, gave it over to Byrne. Byrne actually lost the footy as Moller tapped it away from him. Here go the Doggies, though, as Bello bangs it in towards full forward. Up they fly. There's plenty of high flyers there, but they can't mark the ball. Daniel Stevens was in there. Out it comes to McArdle. The ball goes between his legs. Sherwood's got it, almost holding the ball. And finally it comes to Cara, goes straight for the boundary line. And it's out of bounds on that left half-forward flank.
Yeah, good play there by Carr. He looked up and saw a wall of Central District's player, looked at the boundary line and then straight along the ground outside to give his chance another opportunity.
Right, the umpire throws it in that half-forward flank, taken there almost by Ford. Comes to Daniel Stevens, gives it out. There's a chance for Gowns. He's already kicked 1 goal, but this time he hooks it across the face and through for the minor score to the Doggies. 3-3-21 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. They trail the Tigers 4-4-28.
The left-footed Josh Carr to bring the ball back into play for the Tigers. A player who normally hits the target, hence the responsibility of full-back. And on this occasion, he does just that. Has he found a teammate? He has. For a moment there, I thought I might have had to eat my words. But Paul Sherwood took a mark just inches from the ground, and he'll continue to come grandstand side with a right-footed punt kick that gets about 40 metres, but the wind holds it up. Good work there by the Bulldogs, and that player was Conan Ford, who tries to send the Doggies forward. Now through Stevens, he centres the ball up. Now they've got to sit the Doggies here, and they take a good strong mark too.
Yep,
well, some players, there was a free kick behind play, and that'll go to Venables for shepherding.
Yes.
And Venables, unfortunately, there was a Doggies mark paid, but I suppose it may not have been taken if Venables wasn't shepherded out of the contest. He comes grandstand side. Herrera takes the ball over the boundary line in front of our 5 RPH commentary position.
You said fortunately, might have been unfortunately if you were barracking for the opposition.
Well,
Daniel Stevens did the shepherding and he made it that obvious. The umpire couldn't miss it, even our mate, the umpire who was there at the time.
The ball's gone down the tunnel. The players race and the boundary umpire. Well, he looks
with the
like...
shades.
Yeah, with the shades. That's okay. Sun gets in your eyes. You need to... have that protection. Ball thrown back into play. Moller v Golding goes over the back. McGowan's first player there. Geez, nice vision there.
Goal.
Finds Dew. Dew's usually a pretty good kick for goal, and on this occasion is straight through the centre. And Stewie Dew kicks his first for the afternoon. A beautiful left-footed kick from 45 metres on a pretty tight angle as well. And the doggies got off to the start that they needed. On the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, it's Central 4-3, 27, Tigers 4-4, 28.
Well, he picked that ball up, got it wide, and as soon as he picked it up, he knew there was going to be every chance on his left foot. He's a beautiful kicker of the ball, Stewie Dew, and the Port Power need him back in that forward line, kicking some goals for them.
Well, they need anyone kicking goals for him at the moment.
Very good points, Mitty. No doubt about you, son. You're on the ball. Down goes the bounce. Up they go. The ball tapped out by Kelly. In fact, after Golding had got his hands to it, Golding ends up with the footy against. Then it comes to Sujay Cook. And Cook, just as he's about to break away, the umpire blew the whistle for another bounce down in the centre.
Now, guys, just have a look at the Glenelg player there in Eugene Warrior. He's standing 5 or 6 metres behind his opponent. The wind's going towards the other end. You'd think he'd be standing in front, wouldn't you?
Fair chance to get the ball from there.
Right, Mola handballed the ball, then ended up with Hamblin, who goes up towards half forward, high forward. Conan Ford has marked the ball, and he'll kick from about 48 metres and back to that goal by Stewie Dew. You heard Robbie Popplestone say what tremendous vision by Rick McGowan, and it was just a magnificent handball that set that goal up.
Yeah, speaking of vision there, Kenan Ford obviously saw the ball coming over the back of McEntee, and it's chipped in and took a good grab too. And Kenan Ford lining up for his second goal. He has kicked one in the first quarter, coming on a better 45-degree angle. The drop punt's on it way. The distance is not going to be a problem now. There's the accuracy. It looks like it's going to be his second goal, and that's Central's fifth. They go to 5 goals, 333. They lead Glenelg 4 goals, 428 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie. We'll go back to the studio and check scores from all around the country.
The Eagles 4-8-32 lead Norwood 2-1-13. Port 9-4-58 lead South 6-2-38. And North Adelaide 6-4-40 lead West Adelaide 4-1-25. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Colonnades. Let's go back to the Bay,
where it's the doggies by 5 points over Glenelg. 5 minutes into this second quarter. The Central District side with the aid of a pretty strong northerly, and they're using it pretty well too. Moller gets the tap. First player there's Kelly. Gives it over to Byrne. Byrne, a quick right-footed kick towards grandstand side. The race is on, and little Benjamin Moore's the first player over the line with the ball. Gives to a player of about the same size in Sujay Cook. He kicks it forward, and a contender for the cattle crash. Repairs mark of the day.
Good mark.
Is Central District's Brent Guerra. He comes grandstand side. Oh, Sujay Cook leapt high, couldn't get hands on the ball. Nice work by Horm at ground level. Goes over the top to Marco Bello, who straightens up and kicks to centre half forward, but it's been taken by Venables, a pretty impressive player in the few occasions that we've seen him. He comes grandstand side. Over the top for the doggies was Damien Hicks, and at ground level Sujay Cook comes in hard over the top of Michael Stevens. Boundary throw in front of our 5 RPH commentary position.
Well, Sujay's taking angry pills this morning, hasn't he? He's been into everything, bottom of the pack like a little terrier.
Damien Radis on for the Tigers. Didn't see come off as the ball is taken by Gowns, or almost taken by Gowns. Kelly got the handball out. He gave it over to Michael Radis, who kicked it up towards half forward, but there's Guerra again. Good mark for the doggies at half back, and he's had the better of his duel with Eugene Warrior.
I wouldn't be surprised if Tony McGuinness made a change and brought little Tipper Mantameri on and took Warrior off.
Right, the kick from Guerra has found Bello, and Bello now just half back. Oh, kicks into the man. Chigwin actually ran over the mark. The umpire said you're allowed to do that, and a new rule obviously. As the ball comes out to Guerra, he got the handball away back to Bello. Bello with a handball into the centre. He's got a Raider. A Raider went to handball, and no, it wasn't a Raider, it was Hamblin. And the smother has been picked up now by Sujay Cook up towards McEntee, who's up into the forward line, and you wouldn't want to know it. He's immediately taken a mark. And he'll kick from outside 50, about 65 metres out the drop punt. He's looking there for the player at the back, but it's a poor kick. In fact, the player in front dropped it from Central District. The umpire paid a free kick, and it's going to go the way of Wera again, and the umpire said he was being held on to.
Now McEntee's come up the forward and took a good strong mark, but the player there for Glenelg Hams was standing 30 or 40 metres away from his opponent, calling for the ball, but he's got to remember he's kicking into the strong wind, so he's not going to kick the ball 80 metres to him.
No, you're right too. Guerra now to Herrera. They change the direction of the play. Geez, dangerous kick taken high. McEntee gives away a free kick. And the doggies from half back line will go short again. They've got a loose man working. Daniel Stevens, he's just messed that up, and James Byrne will make him pay. The Crow Star that comes back to the Bays this weekend has kicked his first of the afternoon. And the Bays regain the lead, albeit by a 1 point margin. 5-4-34, Central 5-3-33.
Bad play there by Central District's Undy. They were little short piddly kicks going around. Rather than getting out of the danger area, Byrne snuck in, chipped in, saw the ball coming, ran through the lines, ran straight to goal, and then kicked it straight back over the head for his first. A fantastic play by the experienced Byrne.
Well, you can't let a player of Byrne's ability have a free shot at goals. They need to get it out of their zone, into their forward line as quickly as they can, the doggies.
There goes the bounce. Up they go. The ball taken by Golding. Both hands again. That's not the first time he's done that, but it ends up now with Gowan. Gowan's banged a long bomb in towards the lead there of Ford, and went straight through his hands. He should have actually swallowed that. Taken by Carr. Got the hand, but it's out on the full. Come off the boot of Venables as he went to pick it up. The boot beat him to the hands, or beat his hands to the ball, and it's out on the full.
Well, Ford very lucky there to get the kick because he did drop an absolute sitter.
Right, well, Ford kicks it in towards full forward. Up they fly off the hands of the pack. Gowan at the back. He gets the handball over the top. Here's a chance for Danny Holm. Dodges, no, goes for a handball inside. Dewey's got it. Stuart Dew, that is. On the left boot, he goes around the body. Look, he loves it. He likes it. He's fallen in love with it. Bang! Through the high diddle. The doggies go along to 6-3-39. The Tigers are 5-4-34.
That's Stuart Dew's second goal in this quarter, second goal for the game, and a great bit of play there by the Central District's players to keep the ball alive, Unleys.
Well, it was, and the thing I liked about that particularly was it was Conan Ford who, rather than going to the top of the square, kicked it about 30 metres out from goal. So if it did come off the pack, it was still alive, and that's what you saw happen. It spilled off the back of the pack into that pocket. Stewie Dew came around on that left foot. Very dangerous again. 2 goals. Ooh, Mark Williams would want to have him in his side tomorrow, wouldn't he?
You'd think so, wouldn't you? Up against the Brisbane Lions, of course, at Football Park tomorrow night. The Crows take on the Eagles tonight at the Wacker, and here at the Bay Oval it's Glenelg up against their doggies. Good work by Moller to give it down to McGowan. His second possession in less than a minute goes towards the outer side half forward flank. Simon Hill, nice work. 1-2 touches, goes inside to Byrne, who's starting to work himself into this game. From the centre of the Bay Oval, he kicks to within 40 metres of goal. McEntee worked himself to the right position, and that's the front position. But Guerra gives it over the top to his teammate in Hopwood. Now they start to work it from half back to half forward, the doggies. And they've got a loose man running too. McGowan's the player at the moment with the ball, turns inboard on the left foot, kicks towards centre half forward, finding his skipper with a pinpoint perfect pass, and Danny Holm takes a good strong mark 50 metres out directly in front for the doggies.
Great play there by McGowan to look up to see his captain there, and he didn't actually blaze away, kicked it hard and low, kept it into the actual playing area, and Holm has not let him down. Took a mark in front of Byrne, but Holm got back there very quickly. He's going to kick from right on 50 metres. The breeze right in the middle of his back. Can he make the distance? It's the big call. The Central District supporters hope so. The Glenelg supporters hope not. He gets very close to the man on the mark, and the ball was going, and he's forced it, because doing that he's got too close to the man on the mark, forced through for a minor score. Centrals now go to 6 goals 4-40. They lead Glenelg 5 goals 4-34 by 1 goal on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yes, and Sherwood to bring the ball back into play. He'll bring it to the grandstand side. No, it's not Sherwood, it must be to Zborski. And he'll bring it with the left foot to the grandstand side. I'll tell you what, it mightn't be a good choice because Moeller was there. It bounces back to Ford. He's tackled. The ball comes to ground. In goes McGowan. Tries to tap it out with one hand. Tried to be attempted on there by Stevens, but the ball goes towards the boundary line and out of bounds on that left half forward flank.
Yeah, the matchup between McGowan and Kelly starting to really pay dividends for Central. McGowan's running wide, getting plenty of the footy. Kell hasn't done a big pre-season, just struggling to keep up with the fitter McGowan at this stage.
Right, the boundary thrown. Muller got 2 hands down and gave it to Gowans. Gowans will come onto the left boot and go up towards the lead there of Holm. Holmes in front. The ball thumped away, though, and over the boundary line for another throw-in right on that half-forward flank where the 50-metre line meets the boundary line.
Good spoil there by Raiders, too, of a very, very valuable sport straight to the boundary line.
Ball thrown back into play. Moller v Golding. Moller gets the tap. The wrong direction, but looking for a teammate. Stevens nearly had an air. He didn't. He chose not to follow through with the kick. Well, Warrior pinged out a nice left foot handball. Couldn't find a teammate. Bello fights hard in front of the Glenelg coach's box. But he's beaten to the boundary line by the ball. And hence a boundary thrown will take place. Half forward flank, grandstand side as the veteran Scotty Lee starts to warm up for the Doggies. The Doggies, his side, leading by one straight kick. Golding from the back. Double-fisted punch towards centre wing. Nice punch too. Hopwood taking ball and all. Play on's the call. Good work by Hosking. Chiggy, the skipper, a kick around the body to half-forward flank for the Bays. A mark was paid. I'm not sure that it should have been. In fact, there's 1,000 Glenelg supporters right in front of me that agree. Damien Hicks took the mark. I thought it got a little bit of grass on the way through, and it probably did too, but the umpire was probably not well positioned. Kicks towards centre half forward. Golding got himself to the front of the pack. Chigwidden, well, he put his head down but couldn't get the ball. Sujay Cook could. He may get run down. He does. His kick's a sloppy 20-metre kick. The free kick's been paid for a sloppy tackle against McArdle. It was questionable, but Sujay Cook will get the free kick inside his defensive 50.
Very lucky there, Glenelg Footy Club, because the player did chase hard, caused the tackle, caused the error, and gets pinged.
Yeah, well, you can't do anything else but go forward when both players are running flat out. There's the ball that's kicked towards centre wing. Damien Hicks claims the mark. He probably took it off the hands of a raider, but it doesn't matter. It's a ball that's kicked out. Joseph Hicks is there, but he's too slow. Now a car's got it. Hicks grabbed him. Cook's out there for the Bays. Also McGowan, and they both go over the boundary line with the footy between them. So there'll be a boundary throw in right half forward flank for the Doggies.
We actually said at quarter time that if both sides can stay level, it's an even game, obviously. I mean, that's a pretty smart comment to make. But at this stage, no one's actually kicking away with the score. That's what I'm saying. Centrals aren't kicking away.
No, you're right too. They started off pretty well, but the Bays are starting to fight their way back into the contest. McGowan is a player in the contest. Handball forward, finds his teammate in Chrissy Gowans, but through Golding, the Bays are able to relieve the pressure, albeit temporarily, as Chigwidden finds one in the breadbasket there, a little chest mark in front of his direct opponent, half-back flank, outer side of the Bay Oval. A pretty long kick given this strong breeze, goes towards half-forward flank. At ground level, the Bays are in there first, but in doing so, they've been big for holding the ball. So you don't want to get in and get the hard ball, because you can cost your side a turnover, and that's what's happened. Radley Moller got a free kick as a result of a pretty good tackle on Raiders. Raiders was too busy telling his teammate off and didn't realise that Central had played on. Good work, son. Their Doggies go forward. No, nice work by Marco Bello. Left foot kick after gathering the ball off the hands of the pack and out of play on the full, unfortunately. He tried to hook it back and couldn't, and the free kick will go to Glenelg's Sherwood.
Yeah, Paul Sherwood now to bring the ball back into play. They've been favouring this grandstand side, and that's what's going to happen again as he bangs it up towards half-back, just outside the defensive 50 in front. Golding, the ball thumped away by Moller, ends up with Hosking. Hosking now, handball's underground. That's a good handball to Michael Raiders. He gets the handball back to Hosking. Hosking will advance to half-back. He's got to hurry up and get the handball, gives it to Warrior. Warrior fends off his opponent and gives the ball to Kelly. Kelly now up towards half-forward. McAdee in the van, but he went up too early. Over the back, players dive on the footy. Better get rid of it, boys. It ends up now with Guerra. Guerra's kick, high kick, floats out over the boundary line for a throw-in towards out-of-bounds grandstand side.
And it's Eugene Warrior with the ball in front of our 5RPH commentary position. 15 minutes into this second quarter, it's the Doggies by a goal. The kick to half forward, looking for McEntee. McEntee come in late and high. Apparently that's okay these days. The ball taken by Chigwidden, kicks to centre half forward. Hill provided some physical presence at the contest and then gets in at ground level too. Nice work. Well, McGowan, he pirouettes out of trouble on a left foot kick, goes towards his teammate in Gowans. He was taken high too. The umpire says play on. I did it before and I'll do it again. And I'll do it the third time too, because Hopwood was taken high by Chigwidden and forced the ball over the boundary line. Half forward flank, grandstand side, the Bays into attack.
Well, I'm convinced these umpires do not understand this game of ours as the ball is thrown in, taken out of the air by Harwood. He's met very heavily as the ball ends up with Guerra. The high ball, in fact, it was Hopwood. High ball to centre wing. Players hanging on to each other. The ball comes over the top, jumping up to grab the ball. Another player met high, pushed the ground, and there'll be a bounce down. But the Bay player definitely met high, and the umpire said that's allowable.
Same thing happened last week. If you remember, boys, umpires let a few decisions go, and they continued on, and then the fight started.
Exactly.
starting to get very willing here too.
Yeah, and that's what happens. You've got to get in control of these things as soon as they happen. Now they go on a big thump right by Stewie Dew, ends up at half forward. In the van there is Josh Carr, goes one way then the other, does it extremely well in a short pass. It was too short though, went straight through the hands of his teammate there, and Hosking. The ball is retrieved by the doggies up towards the pocket. Oh, player met high once again. It's unbelievable what's going on here, and the umpire, the same umpire, said we'll have a throw in between well, the pocket and half forward almost.
It's that Goose Rouston again, boys.
For the doggies.
Yeah, that Goose. No, Central Districts have just made a change. Player coming on for Centrals is Jeremy Off-the-Hide for his first touch. Well done. First game, good luck to him too. And the player going off was the big fella in Redley Moller.
Well, the ball's been thrown back in, and the Bays, through numbers, have worked the ball from half back to half forward pretty quickly. Venables finds McEntee on the lead. McEntee sure thought quickly about going short to Chigwidden, and now goes short to goal, of all places, because everyone misread it. And it's the doggies, Joseph Hicks, that is the first player back, and he goes towards the outer side, half-back flank. Sujay Cook's been busy, needs to get more value for his possessions. Goes to with a quick handball to Hill, who in turn handballed to Chigwidden. But in doing all of that, the ball's found itself over the boundary line, near the intersection of the 50 and boundary line, just underneath the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, which reads Central 6-4-40, Glenelg 5-4-34. Harwood does the rucking duties. McEntee comes over the top. Good work by Bello at ground level, but his handball didn't find a teammate. It went in the hands of Heel. Now they're towards 40 metres from goals, the Bays, and Chigwidden's fighting hard to even this game back up. They trail by a goal, as I just told you, and they'll be dropping the ball against Central Districts. Well, they've played it all day, and whether you agree or not, at least they're consistent. 40 metres out from goals, and the player with the ball will be Glenelg's James Byrne, or will it?
But I asked the question, how can you get the ball out if your arms are pinned?
Well, he actually dived on the ball, didn't he? The rule states that if you dive on the ball and you are caught, it is holding the ball. If you dive on the ball and you try to push it out, it's going to be a bounce. But as Poppy said, the consistency factor is there. So that was one thing. The player there for Glenelg who's received the ball is Hosking, comes in, right foot, drop punt on its way. The goal umpire says, that'll do me. That's there. 6 goals. 6 goal. 4-40. They actually are level now with Central 6-4-40 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and that's his second goal. Even though I think that the decision might have been a bit tough, the query is it was consistent.
Consistently shocking, boys. They are continually trying to sanitise their game of football.
You're a real critic of umpires, aren't you?
Oh, they're shocking.
What, were you dropped as a baby by an umpire or something? Because you're just unbelievable. It's the 20-minute mark of the second quarter here at the Bay Oval, and scores are locked away.
Bounce down in the centre. Gigney against Off-to-Hide. Off-to-Hide's big thump up towards half forward. Michael Stevens was first there, went without the footy though. In fact, a couple of players did that. It ends up at half-back, taken by Hall. Ben Moore, I should say. The kick squeezes out here. Out comes Chigwidden. He goes for the boundary line. He's met with, after he gets rid of the ball, McGowan will pounce on it. Come back turns, I should say. Gives it over to Hopwood. Hopwood up towards half forward. It's all the doggies there, and Marco Bello takes the mark and will kick from right on 50, and that's a go short.
No, he will go for goal. I mean, he's looking around, but there's no options for him. Central Districts had 3 or 4 players back here on the back play. Chigwiggen's kick wasn't as good as he'd like to have, and he's found McGowan, who looked up, and Marco Bello will kick from 50 metres out, going to the northern end of the tram line. End comes in, the left foot drop, punts on it way. He's forced it to try to kick it too hard, and in doing so, he's kicked it out of bounds in the full at the Glenelg end.
So it'll be a Bays free kick, and the free kick will be taken by Glenelg's Craig Taborski, deep in Central District territory. It hasn't really had the flow of the first quarter in the second quarter. At times, Central have looked okay, as Taborski brings the ball back into play. Gigney got himself in front position, but I'm not sure what he was doing. I'm sure he wasn't trying to get the ball straight through his hands, but that's what happened. Nevertheless, the kick by the doggies was smothered off the mark, and Gigney gets a second chance. Runs with the ball to half-forward flank, kicks towards McEntee. Oh, beautiful work by Warrior. His left foot kick towards goal really wasn't a just reward for the reading of the ball off the hands, and in fact is right off line and out of bounds on the full. The free kick will be taken by Guerra, but nice work, Andrew Underwood, by Eugene Warrior to get himself in the right position.
Well, he was front and square, and he's a very, very clever player. As I said, enigmatic, because he can do some unbelievably clever things and then just goes missing.
Should have made more of that opportunity though at this late stage of this second half where the scores are tied.
Right, the left-footed now. Guerra brings it towards the half-back flank. Offhand, beautifully read by Daniel Holm. He's already had a couple of bounces, being well shepherded by Bello as Holm goes short and finds his target in McArdle out on a long lead, and McArdle will kick from about 50 metres.
Yeah, that's the difference. Usually Warrior had a shot up at this end, up at the Glenelg end, all of a sudden, but the out of bounds on the full, the free kick resulting to to Centrals. They've gone straight down. McArdle having a shot at the other end. Will kick from around right on 50, gets very close to the man on the mark also, kicks it up in the air. Will it make the distance? It has made the distance, and he has kicked his second goal, and that is the whole difference there, guys. They're now Glenelg are actually 1 goal behind. Central District's 7 goals, 4-46. They lead Glenelg 6-4-40 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie, we'll go back to the studio and check scores from around the country.
It's Port Adelaide 9-4-58 leading south 9-2-56, north 6-6-42 leading west 6-2-38, and the Eagles 7-9-51 lead Norwood 3-4-22. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Tea Tree Plaza. Back to the bay.
I wouldn't mind a nice little pastry right now. A little bit on the tooth to me at the moment. I'm sure you're interested in all of that. Nevertheless, the ball back here, and it's bounced down. Kelly finds Chigwidden under pressure. A handball to McEntee, or at Harwood it was. He was taken heavy. He was taken hard. The Doggies picks up the crumbs, and they come grandstand side, where the little greyhound Stevens kicks, looking for Ford. Can't find that player. Venables is down at ground level, gets around his opponent, but gets around the boundary line as well. Boundary throw in, half-forward flank. Grandstand side, the Doggies into attack and leading by a straight kick. A minute into time on in this second quarter. Ford up against Gigney. Ford gets front position. I thought he was held. Play on was the call, and now he's given away a free kick. Play on's the call again. Yeah. Well, they're good. They're very good. Burn to Harwood. They're good. In front of our 5 RPH position. Harwood. Half-forward flank looking for McEntee. Hereda runs McEntee under the boundary line. Behind play, Byrne and McGowan had words. Guess who won? It was McGowan. The 2-23s.
And you reckon I'm tough on the umpires?
Yeah, well, maybe you're too soft. I'm not sure. The ball's changed direction. McGowan to Guerra, who's been very good today, I must say. Hasn't wasted too many opportunities, but this pass wasn't as good as it may have been. Nevertheless, it's Daniel Stevens who's got time. Finds a teammate there in Hicks. Joseph turns on a thrippity bit and kicks long towards full forward. The ball punched towards Sam McArdle. He's kicked too. He's going to feed off this one to a teammate who kicks for goal, and it falls short. A mark attempted but not taken. Right on the boundary line, 5 metres out from the Doggies' goals, and it'll be a boundary throw in with the Doggies starting to apply a little bit more pressure late in this second quarter.
Yeah, golden opportunity there for Gowan to take the mark, but it went into his hands and out again. The ball thrown in to the bottom of the pack. Look out, boys. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. They bring it out now. Trying to pick it up there was the player in Dew. He goes to the ground. In they go. Oh, Daniel Holm goes in and actually lays a bulldog tackle on one of these opponents. The umpire says play on. Hot.
Good tackle.
He's dispossessed with a terrific tackle. The ball's at the bottom of the pack. Get rid of it, boys. And that's what's going to happen here. Well, we didn't know because there was about 10 bodies there, and the umpire had pulled one out of his Khyber pass there. We all would have gone up, but he decided to have a bounce on that left half forward flank.
Yeah, good work by players on both sides on that occasion, because they were pretty fierce at the ball. We all like to see that. Ford gets a tap. Nice tap too. Umpire, get out of the way. A kick by Slade offline. He was nearly tackled by the umpire then.
Well, he wants to get in the game, the umpire.
Well, the only way he could kick is umpire was in the way.
Oh, dear. Nevertheless, out of bounds on the full. I suppose I should tell you that. Glenelg will get the free kick. It'll be Sherwood who takes that free kick. Has Chigwidden, his skipper, running short. Well, he just ignores him. It's almost like he's not talking to him. And now he chooses to handball to Gigney. Well, this could be interesting because he does some interesting things every so often, does the big fella. This left foot kick goes towards the outer side. Nice kick to Venables. They change direction and keep possession. Venables to the outer side centre wing. Guerra runs hard and straight at the ball, and Hill stands up to the contest. Gives it to Warrior. Warrior turns one way, then the other. I think he confused himself because he's given the ball up to Joseph Hicks, who goes short looking for Bello. Nice work by the Bays, and that was Michael Raiders that punched the ball out of play. Half forward flank, outer side of the ground. The Doggies into attack and leading by one straight kick.
They are indeed, as the boundary umpire throws it back into play. Ford up against Gigney. Gigney with a right-handed tap. The ball kicked off the ground. Might have been Kelly who kicks it up there. Out in front there we had Joseph Hicks. In hot pursuit there was... looked like Sujay Cook, and both go over the boundary line, and the ball will be thrown back in.
Sujay Cook's fallen out of the game this quarter. He was very good in the first quarter.
He certainly was. Plenty of him in the first quarter as the ball is tapped down. Here's a chance now for the Doggies, but the player was dispossessed, kicked off the ground. In goes Rick McGowan. He tried to pick up the ball, couldn't do so. It squeezed out here. Overrunning the ball there was Ben Moore. Cook's got it now.
That's holding the ball.
Tackled, and the umpire calling play on. The ball's still in the pack as it's picked up and kicked by one of the Stevens, and the ball back in the pack again. The umpire's running round fair, thinking, what are you going to do, umpy? This time he's going to bounce the ball. And I've got a funny feeling that there's a certain amount of hesitancy out there by these players. They're not really sure what to do when that ball goes into a pack of players. They know they should get it out, but on some occasions you can't do that, Poppy.
No, you're right too. And on some occasions the umpire's not sure what he thinks he should be doing. The ball bounced. Bello gets the crumbs. Quick handball under pressure. Couldn't find a teammate effectively. Good work there by Moore. I thought he was held without the ball. Well, he didn't have the ball, and three players were tackling him. I think that's called holding the man without the ball.
I would have thought so too.
I think. Who knows? Half-forward flank, another bounce down to take place. Sujay Cook, ever the gentleman, hands the ball back to the umpire, who bounces the leather on the turf. Good work there. Nice work by the Bays. They come through the midfield and kick towards the half-forward flank. McEntee's a target, and McEntee takes the mark. 65 metres out from goals. He's not a bad kick of the ball, this bloke, but he won't kick 65 against a pretty strong breeze. He kicks at 50, though. Top of the square. That's a place to put it. At ground level again. Who's the player with the ball? It's Hosking. Who's the player that kicked the point? It's Hosking. Glenelg 6-5-41. Central 7-4-46. That's the score on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Good play there by Hosking. The fact that he got to the front of the pack, read the ball well. McEntee got it in quickly and long, but Hosking just didn't finish off and let himself down and his side. The score is 6-5-41. Glenelg Central 7-4-46.
Guerra brings the ball out to that half-back flank, out off the pack, taken by Hosking, I thought it was. He lost the footy, though. Out it comes to Holm. Holm got the handball over to Hereda. Hereda gets support from McGowan. McGowan gives it out here to Daniel Stevens. He bangs on the right boot up towards the pocket. Ford's there for the Doggies. Can he gather it in? He went to gather it in, but then went to go without the footy, and you can't do that because it's gone over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's the classic case of having it and getting rid of it before you've got it.
Yes, he went to take off but didn't have complete control, and the boundary umpire will throw it back in. Left full forward pocket, still an opportunity for the Doggies to register a six-pointer before the siren goes. Ford thumped the ball down. It's at the bottom of the pack. Oh, Barbara, Bay player threw it out, and lucks a fortune because the ball has been marked by Ben Moore at half-back for the Tigers. Ben Moore. He'll bring it along the grandstand side, wasting time there. Good tactics by the Tigers, knowing that the clock is ticking down. As Ben Moore now kicks it along centre wing, grandstand side. Harwood's there, and good tactic, as I said, because the siren's gone. So there's 5 points to difference in this contest here at the Bay Oval on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Central District 7-4-46, the Tigers 6-5-41.
And the goal scorers in that quarter for Glenelg, you had Hosking with one and James Byrne with one. For Central Districts for that quarter, you had Stuart Dew with two magnificent goals, Keenan Ford with one, and Sam McArdle also with one. Scores here at half-time, as we've said, it's 6 goals, 5 Glenelg there, 41. They trail Central 7-4-46. And we'll go back to the studio, and then we'll come back here a little bit while, and we'll check what's happening around the grounds, and courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
The Bosch.
Going to centre half forward, which is, well, the centre forward area particularly, which is pleasing to see from my point of view. He's an exciting young prospect, and I just love watching the lad play.
Yes, and also with it, Tipper Mantamiri from Glenelg is on. They've actually made a change and brought him on. He looks like he's going to be on at half back. He's in with the actual back player huddle. Gigne's gone back there as well. So he's off the ball, and Golding back into the centre.
Last weekend's game, Tipper had 13 touches in the first quarter.
Is that right? What do you do for the rest of the game?
Not very much.
No, that's where you judge a
why
player.
he's sitting. Yeah, that's right.
Now, he's only played 4 games of footy, Pop.
No, I know, but are you good enough to put on the senior Guernsey? You've got to be good enough to play senior football.
Okay, we're back here.
Right, down goes the bounce. The ball taken by McGowan for the doggies. Handballs it up towards 10.5 forward. Simon Hill picks up the footy, and you wouldn't want to know it. He's kicked it straight back to McGowan. Away goes Rick McGowan. One of his poor kicks off the left boot. You don't see that too often from that player. Comes to James Byrne. His kick goes straight back to McGowan. So McGowan's had 3 touches in about 30 seconds of footy. This time he chips it over the top. Once again, another poor kick. He's looking there for Michael Stevens. He goes on the right boot. Up into the pocket. Players will set themselves. McArdle in front over the back. The ball pumped away by Trzaborski, or Tazborski I should say, and it's out of bounds in that left full forward pocket for the doggies.
They've done that a couple of times, haven't they, boys? They keep bringing the ball to the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard side, and it's a tough side to score a goal from.
Yeah, you're right too. As the ruck work is contested after that boundary throw in, it falls short. Coming through was Bellow, and tough was Chigwidden. Takes ball and Bellow over the boundary line. 25 metres out now from the doggies' goals. Central leading by 5 points, and into attack against a pretty stiff Southerly here at the Bay Oval. The ball thrown back in. Conan Ford gets a hand down. Gigney's there first. Handball under pressure. Nice work. Tipper Mantameri. Left foot kick. Kicks out defensive 50. Sujai Cook will be first player there. Turns in a thrippeny bit and kicks a 65-metre torpedo to half-forward flank. Eugene Warrior second in the race, but first with the ball under pressure. Handballs hopefully to his teammates' advantage. Couldn't find a teammate. Holm goes grandstand side and looking for a... well, I thought playing was a... Well, wait a minute. There's been a free kick behind play. Umpire Colin Ralston's wanted to play the advantage, and it was no advantage, so he's called the ball back. The free kick will be paid to Daniel Holm.
Now, that showed a bit of sensibility for a change, and the fact that the ball didn't go to the advantage of the Central District sides. Colin Ralston called the ball back and has now given it to their advantage. Exactly.
Murray Hamblin's the player with the ball. Grandstand side, centre wing, looks for forward from the back. Gigney, McGowan at the fall of the ball. Nice tackle, Sujay Cook holds him in. A boundary throw in. Grandstand side, half forward flank. The doggies starting off. How they started off the first quarter against the strong Southerly by attacking, which is quite surprising. Nevertheless, I think you'll see some better work from the Bays in the next few moments.
Down goes the bounce, Mola and Golding. Golding got the hit that came down to Holm and got the tap, I should say. And Holm fisted the ball back towards centre wing. Hamlin had the chance to control it, but lost control, and it's out over the boundary line for a throw-in. Right in front of the 5RPH commentary position. This game being brought to you by Good Better Bosch. There's the throw-in. Moller makes front position. Thumps it straight back from whence it came now, and it's gone out over the boundary line again. If you just tuned in, the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, the doggies are 7-4-46 to Tigers 6-5-41.
And the cattle crash mark of the day so far, Harms, you'd think?
Well, Hums has been good too. Burns a contender as well, but hopefully we'll see a few more beauties in the second half.
Right, there's the throw in. The tap comes straight down to Bellow. Bellow's hurried kick off the right boot, wobbles up into the pocket. In front there, Ford tries to keep the ball in play, can't do so. And out over the boundary line for another throw in. We've had a few of these already in the third quarter.
And not a bad crowd down here at the Bay Oval today, probably around about 2,500.
Yeah, maybe even 3.5, Smithy, but I'm a generous man. The ball thrown back in, 40 metres out from Doggy's goals. Kynan Ford contests the ruck at ground level. It's Glenelg Sherwood who tries to keep the ball in and out of the contest, or not allowing Central District to be in the contest. Tipper Mantameri, can he keep the ball in? He cannot. And at half-forward flank grandstand side, there'll be yet another boundary throw-in. Interesting duel between Kynan Ford and also Gigney. I think Ford might be pretty happy with Gigney being on him rather than a player like McEntee, but you only got one McEntee, you haven't got too many options.
It looks like Centrals are actually playing a man loose in defence too.
Yep, they are indeed. Their ruckman looks to be Radley Muller. That's a kick behind play, which is reasonable given that they're kicking against this strong wind. Ball kicked out of bounds on the full. The free kick taken by Hopwood. Hopwood goes short and finds Hamlin. Hamlin kicks to centre half forward true. McArdle's his target. Punch from behind. Nice work. Eugene Warrior handballs, but geez, he was really not on target there, and Holm came through, cut it off at the pass, but he was tackled pretty hard too and thrown to the ground. There'll be actually a bounce down. Centre half forward, Central District 7-4-46. Glenelg 6-5-41.
Yeah, and any number of players around the footy at the moment. Down goes the bounce. Moller actually tapped it down to Tipper Mantameri. He gave it out to Hill. Hill will come onto the right boot, almost smothered there by McGowan, but the kick was away. Oh, but Warrior would have marked the sensational mark if he'd have clacked that. The ball come down to Cook. Sujai Cook in towards full forward. It may have been touched, or was it? Oh, a big leg break there. I don't think it was touched in actual fact, and through for the minor score. And so the first score of the quarter, is it? I think it is. 6, that's clickety-click. It's 42 in fact. Central District 7-4-46. Ball to be brought back into play. Weira, the left footer, brings it to the grandstand side. Not a bad choice, is it? They go over the back of the pack, and Hopgood had the opportunity to take the ball, but he went without it. The ball's out underneath the pack of players. Oh, the umpire was thinking about blowing the whistle for a holding.
He was
ball.
too, DB.
And
he was going to ping him.
He just came out in time and forced over the boundary line for a throw-in.
Now, the player there in Hosking actually then handballed the ball straight to the boundary line. Isn't that deliberate?
Well, yep. But it doesn't mean that
Only
it's
when the
gonna be...
umpire pays it.
Yeah, exactly. Ball thrown back in grandstand side, half foot flank. The Bays into attack. Nice work. Burn off the pack, left foot kick. Not so nice. Out of bounds on the full. From defensive 50, Brian Herrera will take the resultant free kick.
And there was a contender for the cattle crash mark of the day by the guy in the crowd.
Yeah, it was too. Dropped his pass to be marked the ball. They changed direction to the Bulldogs, and from 40 metres out from their own goals, kicked towards that outer side. A beautiful mark. Definitely a contender for the cattle crash repairs mark of the day to young Joshua Carr, who plays on looking for his teammate in McEntee. Can't find that player. A beautiful work by Benny Moore. A quick snap at goals. Just offline. He pulled it to the left, and that's the second minor of this quarter, the third quarter. 5 minutes gone. Glenelg 6-7-43. Central 7-4-46.
Once again, the ball to be brought back into play, and the Bays are peppering the goals at the moment. Need a major as Guira kicks the ball to himself, and then we'll bring the umpire's blowing the whistle, and he said he's pointing up the line, and not too sure what that's all about.
It means he ran over the mark when he was kicking out, and the umpire wants to get the ball and bounce it on the end of the square.
Amazing what the umpires can pick up when they want to pick it up. And immediately we've got a bounce down right in
It's amazing they
square.
can see that from 50 metres away, but they can't see the one right in front of them.
Comment, Darryl Smith, down goes the bounce, and the ball thumped towards the boundary line, and it'll be out of bounds in the left full forward pocket. Mo still in play. James Byrne trying to control the footy, but this time it goes over the boundary line, and another throw in that left full forward pocket, and we'll cross to Robbie Popplestone to see if he can get the ball out of that area.
Well, I'll do my best. There's a lot of players doing their best out there, and if they do really well, they'll be a contender for the Good, Better, Bosch and Tradelink Building Supplies Player of the Day. That also at the end of the year gets a player $500. Cash or product. The ball kicked towards in 5 goals of the Glenelg forwards. Chigwin, well, he tried to kick that ball almost before he had it, and really just miskicked it. It went across the face of goals and eventually out of play.
Chiggy's bread and butter is the boys. He's normally bottom of the pack, and he was front and square. Just got it just on the wrong side of the boot and sprayed it across the goal.
Might have hurried a bit too much.
McEntee up against Moller. Moller grabs the ball out of that boundary throwing contest and kicks left foot. Nice work by Kari. Second good mark in as many minutes. And now from outer side centre wing. Kicks to within 30 metres of the goals. Good work there by the Central District player there in Geister to keep the ball at ground level. It'll be thrown, in fact, bounced down 40 metres out from Glenelg's goals.
Poppy Carr would have to be a contender for the player of the day, the Good, Better, Bosch Tradelink player of the day. He's been very, very solid across half-back.
Yeah, he has indeed.
So was Guerrera.
Yep, he's been very good too. There's a few big decisions to be made. McGowan's not sure what he's going to decide on at the moment because he's been tackled by Kelly or Chigwitten. He says he wants to go home. The umpire says you've got a quarter and a half to play and we can all go home. Glenelg 6-7-43, Central 7-4-46.
Down goes the bounce, and that's what the Bays will be looking to do. Put one home through the tall timber, but it comes out here to Hopwood, I think it was. He kicks it up there. Bello gets rid of his opponent and goes onto his left boot. No, handball's over the top to Gowan. Gowan will kick from about 45. Mid-high after he got rid of the footy. The ball will come back with it. Or is it a sausage roll? I think it's through for a goal for the Doggies. 8-4-52 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Second goal to Gowans as Glenelg remain on 6-7-43 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Yeah, great play there by Bello, and looked in and saw Gowans coming through. Gowans was tackled very high there, but I actually looked at the umpire, and the umpire was watching where the ball was going, not what was happening at the end of the play. But great play anyway by Gowans, kicking his second goal. He kicked one in the first, he's kicked his second goal in the start of the third quarter, and a good goal there to Central Districts.
Terrific passage of play. We haven't got an award for a passage of play, but all those blokes deserve a pat in the back at the very least. The ball bounced down, Moller gets the tap, and the player at the bottom of the pack, Daniel Stevens, gets a left foot kick towards centre half forward. Holm keeps the ball in the area. McGowan over the top. Sweet play. Matty Slade, the lead to McCardle. Oh, the Doggies are on fire. Sammy McArdle. He's kicked a couple today, and from 35 metres on a very slight angle, he could kick his third, Daryl Smith.
He certainly can. You can just see, Poppy, that the dogs are starting to lift their work weight. The actual Glenelg side, their heads are starting to drop, a lot of hands on hips and so forth. McArdle lining up for his third goal, and this one, gee whiz, it could be very, very costly for the Glenelg side. Will kick from about 35 metres out, 45-degree angle. The drop punt's on its way, but it's drifted too far to the left and it's gone through for a minor score. Centrals, 8 goals, 5, 53. They lead Glenelg by 10 points, 6 goals, 7, 43.
Bays are making a change. Nicholas on, Venables off, and I think they also need to make a change in the middle of the ground. You'd have confidence in Kelly, but McGowan's giving him an absolute stitch up this afternoon.
Certainly is.
Carr to bring the ball back into play. Coming to the grandstand side, the drop punt. Looking there for Golding. Couldn't mark the ball, but it spills to Hill. On the left boot, he chips it around the corner. Up over the top went Hosking. It ended up with Hosking, I should say. He was hung on to. The umpire called play on. A Raider goes in trying to pick it up, does so. Handballs it back. Gives it now to Hopgood. Hopgood to Hicks of the Joseph variety. Bangs it up towards 10.5. Not a good choice because, the two big Bay players went up. They've spoiled each other. Bursting through. He's going to get caught. Hamlin got the kick away just as the umpire was going to ping him for holding the ball. Let's give Sherwood the opportunity, or was it Taborski it was. No, it was Sherwood. It was right the first time, and the ball spills out over the boundary line for a throw-in, and if that player, I think it was Hamlin, had got away, boys, it would have been a sausage roll.
Would have been very, very lucky for the Central side. Very unlucky for the, or not bad play by the Glenelg side. 3 players going up. And Hamlin there, with a bit of pace, could have got through, but was well tackled.
Carr from the resultant boundary throwing kicks towards the grandstand side, and on the intersection of the 50 and boundary, the ball goes out of play. A boundary throwing to take place as well. And Undies, I just think that the Glenelg through that midfield, probably Byrne hasn't been doing much in there. They need someone with a bit of aggression. Byrne might be good in a defensive role or sitting one out in the forward line, but they need to make a few moves because the game will be on them soon. The ball thrown back into play. Hill, bottom of the pack. Well, he's paid it all day and he'll pay it again, and this one will go against Simon Hill on the arc of the 50.
Be careful. That almost could have been 50 metres there.
What was that one for?
Because he just had the ball in his hand, he put the ball down on the ground and then said, hang on, what have I done wrong?
Exactly.
Well,
so Kynan
ball
Ford
back on the full. So Kynan Ford.
Yeah, behind play. Raiders, lifted the elbow as he ran past Daniel Stevens. Didn't quite
Nothing
connect.
wrong with that.
No. A la Vince McMahon, WIBF. I'm not sure. He's a good wrestler. Ford kicks to the top of the square. McArdle flies high in front of the pack. Nowhere near the ball, actually, at the end of the contest. 3 or 4 players overrun it. Bello doesn't. He goes short. He's got a teammate there. The kick didn't find that teammate, and that was Chrissy Gowans, who's kicked 2 goals today. Geez, the game's almost in slow motion at the moment. A few good tackles. Almost bust open a forward play by the Doggies. Can't do that. Central 8-5-53. Glenelg 6-7-43.
Chrissy Gowans hasn't been Central District's worst player either. Just starting to get very, very important touches in this start of this third quarter.
Down goes the bounce. Golding and Ford. Golding with a 2-handed fist puts the ball back up towards himself, in fact. Comes out to Sherwood. Sherwood's high kick to the half-back. Joseph Hicks made front position in front of Tuchai Cook and takes the mark. So the Doggies just doing a little better at the moment. They're having certainly more of the footy. And Hicks now will go to the lead of McArdle. It's not a bad lead, but it's over McArdle's head. And that player actually took 2 steps after he marked the ball, and the umpire said, you can go back and have a kick, son. And it's Taborski, the left footer, as he brings it to the grandstand side. Oh, up high, McIntyre. No, the man in front will be paid the mark, and that's Joseph Hicks. McIntyre was at the back, but Hicks was in front. Gives it over to Daniel Stevens. He kicks it high, up there towards the lead there of the player in Guerra. Guerra's got a player loose in Hopwood. Hopwood will mark the ball, and I think he talked about going on with the job. And what's happened here? The umpire has not paid the mark, has he?
Yes, he has.
Yes, he has. It's only got to be a 50-metre penalty, doesn't it? Anyway, Hopgood up and bangs it up towards the lead of Daniel Stevens. Over his head, Daniel Holmes got the opportunity. Can't pick up the ball, taps it back to his advantage. He's still going. This will be the goal of the year if he bangs it through. He has. What sensational play by Danny Holm. He was the only player that was prepared to keep going, and going he did. Good better, bang, bosh, through for a goal to the Doggies.
Fantastic play there by Daniel Holm. The captain led from the front and did not look like he was going to give that competition up. Fantastic goal. Glenelg 6 goals, 7-43. They trail Central's 9-5-59 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie, we'll go back to the studio and check the scores from around the grounds.
Yes, we've got the Eagles 12-12-84 leading Norwood 5-5-35, West 8-5-53 leading North Adelaide 6-10-46, and Port 14-5-89 leading South 12-5-77. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Mitcham. Let's go back to the Bay.
Well, it sounds like Peter Greco's got a mouthful of pastries from Michelle's Patisserie as he gives an update.
It looks like they might have run out of footies, guys, because they've the boundary umpires come over looking for more footies from the Glenelg bench. Ah, yes, they've got one. Holding up the play.
They've just stolen a ball off a 6-year-old kid who's currently crying and running back to his mother. But they're running out of footies here at the Bay Oval. But Central Districts aren't running out of options. They're 9-5-59 and they're 16-point leaders over Glenelg 6-7-43. The Bay's favourites at the start of the game. But you'd like to be on the doggies. And just by the way, all four of us are here at the Bay Oval. The ball bounced down. Good work there by Moller. Who's first there? It's going to be the doggies again, McGowan. Well, the ball was stolen by Cook. Good play by him. Gets around Marco Bello. Kicks towards centre half forward. A nice bounce. Hosking finds himself with the ball and kicks to the lead of Harwood. And Mark Harwood will kick from 35 metres on a pretty acute angle as Scotty Lee, the veteran, comes on for his first run of the day. 227 games. Mark Harwood's got the ball.
He also played a lot of games for the Crows too, did Scotty Lee. But Mark Harwood has got a chance here to kick Glenelg's first goal for the quarter. And they are kicking with the strong breeze which is coming from the south. And gee whiz, to say that Glenelg need this is an understatement. He comes in, looks very direct. Drop punt's on its way. The goal umpire has moved a fraction too far to the close to the post, but he's just missed it again, hasn't he? So the score's now Glenelg 6 goals 8-44. They trail Centrals 9 goals 5-59. And gee, they really need that one in the undies.
Yeah, they did. Damien Raiders came on, as did Venables and Richard Kelly. They have made the move in the pivot. They pulled Richard Kelly off and brought Venables on.
You know who a player I'd like to see in the middle or around the fall of the ball for Glenelg is Sujay Cook, because he's got a lot of pace. He carries the ball well. His disposal lets him down a bit, but he does get the ball a lot of the time.
I'd put little Tipper in there.
Guerra kicks the ball grandstand side. Herrera was at the back and bounces free to James Byrne. The kick is a beauty. Pinpointed to Sujay Cook. Oh, taken out of the contest. Must get the umpires paid the advantage as it comes to Moore. Moore's handball out wide. He gave it to Raiders of the Damien variety. Gives it over to Cook, is it? He goes bang, or was it Hosking? One of the two.
Hosking.
It was neither of those two. In fact, I think it may have been Sherwood, was it, that came down from the fence to have a pot shot at goal, and he missed. It's gone out of bounds in the rightful forward pocket.
Spot on, DB. It was Sherwood.
Right, the ball now from Guerra out here towards Damien Hicks, and Hicks marks the ball in opposition. Well, it wasn't really in opposition. He was about 2 yards clear of the little Chickwed, and there's a chip over the shoulder. Or over the shoulder, it was over Chicky's shoulder, and he's found Geister. So Geister further afield at half, still at half back on the grandstand side. He's going to put the ball right out to the other side of the ground. That's a big risky play, but luckily for him, it's a pinpoint pass and finds Moller. Moller handballs to Guerra. Guerra now on the left boot, puts it out towards Herrera. Herrera's come down from centre half back. He's got plenty of room. Bangs it up towards McCardle. Up in front. I think he's been paid the mark. He has. Good strong mark to McCardle, and that all started with a transference of play from the grandstand side, boys, to the outer side.
It certainly did. The switch was on from Hicks, and then it went over to Muller, and Eugene Morey let his player run away, and they just jogged after him, and all of a sudden now Central Districts are having a shot at the other end, right in front of the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and the player
Sam McCardle.
McCardle's going in for his third goal. Drop punt's on its way. The goal umpire has gone too far to... No, he's gone right to the goalpost. You think it's going to go through for a point, and he says, no, that's 2 fingers up for me. Gee whiz, I don't know. These goal umpires are getting a little bit more dramatic each and every week. That's his third goal. Central's 10 goals, 5-65. They lead Glenelg 6 goals, 8-44, and Centrals are going away with this game at this stage. We'll go back to the studio to check scores from around the grounds.
The Western Bulldogs 13-13-91 lead Carlton 8-9-57. Essendon 17-16-118, leading Hawthorn 15-5-89. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisseries at Colonnades. Back to the Bay.
21-point leaders are the doggies, and Scotty Lee gets his first of probably what will be many touches this afternoon. Gives it to McGowan. Guess what? He gives it back to Scotty Lee. I knew I was going to be right. Scotty Lee from outer side centre wing kicks to the lead. Kenan Ford, and Ford, who's kicked 2, won't kick a third because he's 65 metres out, but he will kick to the right spot looking for McCardle. A punch forward. The Bay's Josh Carr gives to Tipper Mandameri. Well, he runs himself into danger, but it's good enough to get himself out of it. Kicks towards Moore, outer side. Moore, beautiful Beautiful play. Took the ball with one hand, fended off two opponents with the other, and under enormous pressure, a beautiful pass, left foot to McEntee.
The simple thing there, Poppy, was that McEntee was playing in front of his opponent. The ball did drop short, and McEntee's resulted in a mark. Will kick from right on 50 metres, virtually directly in front, with the breeze coming right behind him, so he shouldn't have any problem with the distance. And gee whiz, don't Glenelg, they need to buy a goal here somehow or other. They have to score a goal. McEntee coming in, loping in, the drop punt's on its way. The goal umpire is moving towards the goal post, but that one's gone straight through for McEntee. He's kicked his first goal. Glenelg they've kicked their first goal for the half, and that's now 7 goals, 8.50. They trail Central Districts 10 goals, 5.65 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard.
Well, it was certainly the play of the day as far as Glenelg is concerned. They did it very nice and neatly, got it down to McEntee in a good goal. And as we said off air before, we would have thought that Warrior would have been taken off the ground for his lack of team rules and lack of chase, which resulted in the Central's goal before. And he has been taken off the ground, and David Hams has come back on to that key position, full forward.
And Gowan's off for the Doggies, and Daniel Stevens on as the ball is squeezed out to centre wing. Michael Stevens handballs it back to Scotty Lee, and Scotty Lee chips it over. Oh, it might be intercepted by Sujay Cook. He's read it beautifully. He's taken the ball at centre wing and bangs it back towards centre half forward. McEntee up in front. Well, he got it on the second grab. Beautiful play by Sujay Cook. Anticipation. That's what it was, boys, as he intercepted that pass that was met for McGowan.
Certainly was anticipation, and I said right at the start that I'd get Sujay Cook in the middle of the ground because of his pace and his ability to read the ball. And McEntee all of a sudden starting to come into this game, can put Glenelg within just 2 kicks. Almost 2 kicks. 7 goals, 8. Glenelg, McEntee kicking from virtually where he kicked the last one from, just outside 50. The drop punt's on its way. The goal umpire has said, I'll take 2. That's the second one in a minute for McEntee. So Glenelg now 8 goals, 8, 56. They trail Central's 10 goals, 5.65. As the Glenelg supporters start to get warm, and they start to use the vocals here, undies.
Well, it's pretty easy sitting up here, boys, isn't it? You say you make these moves, and the coaches have done it, and certainly McGuinness put him to centre forward full of confidence, and he's a terrific young player, and he's giving them a focal point. 2 goals in the space of a minute, just what the Bays need. And they're almost back in this game, but I think Centrals have still got it.
They need about 3 or 4 more in this quarter.
They probably do too. Glenelg 8, 56, 16 scoring shots to 15, but they trail by 11 points. The Bays from the half-back line come towards grandstand side, searching for Simon Hill. He's going to run himself into all sorts of trouble. Scotty Lee holds the ball, and he maybe should have held the man with one hand and the ball with the other, and he could have found himself with a free kick.
That's not Scotty Lee's style. His style is to get the ball.
Yeah, well, he didn't get it. The umpire got it when he should have had it if he did what I said. The ball bounced down. Moller up against Golding. Golding gets the tap. Now he's got it. Scotty Lee, left foot kick towards grandstand, half forward, kicks it off the ground. Daniel Holm, who's kicked the goal of the century, has kicked the worst kick of the century all in the space of 10 minutes this afternoon. He's kicked that one out of bounds on the full, and the free kick will go to Glenelg's Paul Sherwood. Half-back flank, grandstand side. We've got a ball game on our hands here at the Bay Oval with Glenelg trailing by some 9 points.
Kick now from Sherwood. Kicks it to the centre of the ground. Hams is looking in front. Oh, got pushed out. The umpire said that's okay now. As going in hard is Damien Raiders. He's met high, and he'll get a free kick centre wing grandstand side. Raiders now, the Damien variety for the Tigers. He'll bang it in towards the lead of McEntee, but he can't get to it this time. The kick fell short, and it's marked there by Hosking. Is it? No, Hopwood for the Doggies. He chips it across to McGowan in the true centre half-back position. So McGowan now, what will he do with it? Usually finds the target. Scotty Lee's all by himself about 15 metres away, but he's going to go across the ground and give it back to the player that gave it to him in the first place in Hopgood. Hopgood goes short to Joseph Hicks. The umpire calls play on as Hicks will chip it across. He's looking there for Damien Hicks. Hicks marks the ball now. He's at centre wing, just backward of centre wing. Look at Ford. He's all by himself. He was yards in front of his opponent, and Ford marks the ball in the true centre wing position. Drop punts it high up inside the attacking 50. Over the back, Golding. The ball comes loose. Here's a chance now. It's picked up by Sherwood. The hurried kick back to centre wing. Stevens, Michael thumps it away. Chance for Cook. It lobs in his arms and kicks it up towards the half-forward flank. McGowan's there. Will he take the ball? He does. The handball comes out. He's looking for Guerra. Guerra in turn gives it to Hopwood. Hopwood now gives it over to Fighting Harada. Harada is a centre wing. Players will set themselves. The ball thumped away. Here's a chance now for the The Tigers is taken there by Carr. Carr's beautiful little pass into the centre, and he's found Matty Byrne.
Well, good work there.
James Byrne,
the big jab, but Matty was a good singer. I'll tell you right now. James Bird from centre half back, kicks to centre half forward.
Oh.
Beautiful mark there by McGowan. Handball over the top to Lee. There's some experience. Lee wants to give it to anyone, but he decides to kick long. His target is McArdle, and McArdle has taken yet another contender for the Cattle Crash Repairs. Mark of the day, grandstand side, half forward flank. The Doggies up by 9 points, and we're into time on in this third quarter. Remembering they need to kick, or they'll come home with a pretty strong breeze. McArdle goes inboard to Hopwood. Hopwood kicks long, he kicks strong, and Golding does a strong mark. 40 metres out from Central District goals.
Was that the Bronx cheese the Glenelg supporters
Yes,
were
I
giving him?
think it was, boys.
Well, the Golding kicks towards grandstand side. Chigwidden, it bounces off his knee and out of play. Boundary throw in, half forward flank once more. The Doggies started off this third quarter in a blaze of glory and have held on quite nicely, thank you very much. The tap back by Moller. Free kick against Golding will go Moller's way.
It was for in the back, and it certainly was there.
So Moller will take the free kick, and he will send the Doggies forward again. McArdle's been dangerous. I can see Ford down there in the full forward line. And as Daniel Holmes screams out to his charges to keep their mind on the job. And the kick by Moller to the pocket, forwards his target. Well, geez, he nearly took that mark. McArdle picks up the crumbs, left foot kick around the body. Bellow, in fact, it was Slade that had to wait on it. Kicked out towards grandstand side by the Bay centre wing. It bounces in the hands, or did it, of Hopwood. It did. He's run himself into trouble, though. Keeps the ball back into play. He's been taken too high behind play, and he gets himself a free kick. Goes inboard, finds a teammate. That teammate was Murray Hamblin, whose kick was one of the worst you've ever seen, and lands in the arms of James Matty Byrne.
Yes, and he kicks it along centre wing, up through the hands of Moller it went. Chance for Joseph Hicks, he's first to pick up the footy and then bangs it across to the ground. And now over there is Michael Stevens. He takes the mark now for the Doggies. Backward of centre, then bangs a drop punt. Up looking for Daniel Stevens. Up over the top. Ford was met high. The ball thumped away as it goes towards the boundary line. Damien Radis is in there, but he can't pick up the ball and it's out of bounds on that left half forward flank for the Doggies as Moller comes on and off to Hyde, who's been doing that on the bench most of the day, comes onto the ground to have a run.
Playing in his first game too after Hyde, so good luck to him.
Okay, the ball thrown here. Big raps on the lad too, I might tell you, as the ball is thrown in. Here's a chance now for Tipperman Mary as he bangs a high ball up to towards half forward. It's going to spill out the back though. And first there for the Doggies. It's taken there by the player in... off to Hyde. He just come onto the ground as he hipped it over. Taken now by Danny Holm. Holm kicks it up towards half forward. The player went without the footy. This could be dangerous. Stewie Hughes got it. He bangs a high ball. Haven't seen much of Stewie in this quarter. Up towards full forward. All up, went up for the Doggies, I should say. No one stayed down for them, and of course the Tigers took it away through Taz Burgess, and the ball has been marked by Big Golding in the back pocket.
Yes, and he goes towards that outside centre wing looking for Nichols. Nichols taken out of the contest. More beautiful, hard-running midfielder is he. He goes towards his teammate who runs towards the outer side looking for Harwood. The kick needed to be perfect, and it was far from that. In fact, it finds itself over the boundary line, 10 metres out from the Bay's goals, and they're trailing by 9 points with only minutes to go of this third quarter.
Have we seen Kelly out there in this third quarter?
He came off, mate, remember?
It came off not too long ago, as Golding also does that. He comes off. Gigney replaces him. So the big fella Gigney will have a run in the ruck. The ball's thrown back into play. Harwood taps down looking for Cook. Couldn't find that player. Cook has an airy, trying desperately to get yet another goal. But they're going to be beaten by the siren. Does that score count?
No.
Which was a point. The goal umpire is looking at the main umpire. The main umpire says, what are you looking at? He says, I'm looking at you to know if that score counts. He says, no, it doesn't. And it doesn't. Glenelg, 8-8-56. Central, 10-5-65. A good bit of Bosch football here at the Bay Oval. We'll be back shortly to give you goal scorers, better players, and our thoughts on how the respective sides might win this game in the last quarter.
Turn that blasted tap on.
and they can carry the ball.
Well, they're not going to do that because Richard Kelly's out on the ground. It looks like he's going to start off in the square with, looks like Josh Carr, is it? He's going to start there as well, along with Golding and also Chicky. So you wouldn't say that Richard Kelly was fleet of foot. Look, he's a great player. He goes in hard, but he's not the sort of player that I think you're talking about.
And neither is Nick Chigwigan. I mean, fantastic player, gives 100% every game, but he just hasn't got the pace of a Sujay Cook, a Tipper Mantameri and these sort of guys.
No, you're right too, and I suppose if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be what you've always been, and I think for Glenelg, they've made no changes whatsoever, and unfortunately, if you don't make any changes, you can't expect too many changes to what's happening out there.
Give Tony McGuinness, you've got to give him his credit. He's actually showing faith in his senior players, but I don't think his senior players are going to get him across the line today. Central Districts have got the game by the scruff of the neck, and I hope they can continue with that because I've got money of them.
Okay, off to Hyde is going to take this first bounce with Golding, and all of a sudden I'm not as confident as I was before. The umpire about to bounce the ball down. Down it goes. Golding and off to Hyde. Golding tries to take it out of the air, but it comes straight to Slade. High kick up towards half forward. Tipper Mantameri was there. Couldn't take the mark. It spills out to McGowan. The handball's a gem. It comes to Michael Stevens on the right boot. He tips the ball high, but it's going to drift towards the pocket. Players set themselves. McCardle's there. The ball goes over the boundary line for a throw in that right full forward pocket.
Doesn't McCardle go for every possible ball he can?
Exactly, he works hard too, and he hasn't got the ball. He's a great player, and I tell you what, Ricky McGowan's got great vision, some of the best in the SANFL competition. His hands there were lightning fast. The ball thrown back into play. Ford contests a ruck. Good work by the Bays to go towards that outer side where Simon Hill will contest the ball, but Slade comes through. Jeezy showing some speed. He's that player. Good work by Guerra, but he ran himself into trouble. His handball fell in the arms of Sujay Cook. He kicks towards the centre of the Bay Oval, but the mark has been taken by Hopwood, who transfers play, albeit somewhat dangerously, to his offside there in Joseph Hicks. Hicks from the half-back flank for the Doggies, kicks to centre half forward looking for Kynan Ford. Scotty Lee stole it! He actually stole that ball. It was going to fall in the arms of Venables, but Scotty Lee dove in front like a man half his age.
Dove?
Well, he looked like a dove. And I tell you what, it was a great mark, and Scotty Lee will now bring his first goal up of the afternoon.
He certainly has done that. He's kicked it from outside 50. A magnificent kick there by Scotty Lee. Magnificent mark. And there's certainly a person that actually comes in. You see him play. He attacks every opportunity he can. He came on just after half-time. Fantastic achievement, Scotty Lee.
And what a dove.
And what a dove. Central's 11 goals, 5. They lead Glenelg 8 goals, 8 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. We'll check scores from around the grounds, courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie.
Yes, we've got Port Adelaide 15-8-98 leading South 14-6-90, West 11-11-77 leading North 8-12-60, and the Eagles 14-13-97 leading Norwood 5-6-36. For Michelle's Patisserie at Arndale, let's go back to the Bay.
Back here at the Bay where all the boys are arguing about whether there is such a word as dove or dive.
In that sense, I think it's correct grammar.
I don't think so. Down goes the bound as they try to get back into this game. The ball taken by Golding. He drops it. Comes to Kelly. Quickly on the boot. Out towards the centre wing. Ben Moore's going to be first there if he can pick up the footy. It's not bouncing all that well, but he gathers it very well on the right hand. Tips it short and finds Harwood. Harwood now. The Bays need a sausage roll. Quick smart as it goes up to James Byrne. And Byrne has got the ball outside 50 grandstand side. He's going to bang it in long. There's the kick up towards the centre half forward position. It falls short. Dropped though by the Central District defender. The player was met high. The ball spills out. It's all the Doggies now as it comes to Slade. Slade gives it to Holm. Holm in turn gives it out to Michael Stevens. He'll go on the right boot along centre wing. Golding's in the van. Should take the mark. Does take the mark for the Tigers at centre wing grandstand side.
The big ruckman for the Bays will go short to Richard Kelly, who spent time on the bench in the third quarter. But the coach in Tony McGuinness is hoping that one of his prime movers can bring the Bays back into this game. At the moment, they're 8-8-56, the Tigers. Central 11-5-71. I'm not sure if Richard Kelly's gone to sleep, but certainly he took a long time with that ball. He kicks towards the offensive 50, but a mark has been taken by the Doggies, and it's been taken by Central's Uftahide. He changes direction of the play, but keeps possession, and now Hopwood, one bounce. springs out of the half-back line and kicks towards the half-forward line where his target was going to be due, but a nice mark in front is Joshua Carr, who he said in that third quarter was one of the Bay's better players. Doesn't waste too many possessions, does Carr, and he doesn't on this occasion either. Finds Kelly. Kelly comes grandstand side where a beautiful mark's been taken by Hosking. He takes a bounce, straightens up, kicks towards McEntee. McEntee taken out of the contest. Good body work on ground and at ground level. Damien Hicks gets the doggies out of trouble, and Michael Stevens takes a pretty strong mark, if you don't mind me saying, in front of Tipper Mary, and then unleashes a pretty nice handball to Slade. Tipper Mary tries to run him down, but Slade kicks towards the full forward line. Held without the ball, I thought, was the doggies player. He threw it out while the umpire couldn't see that one. It was a throw by Daniel Stevens. McGowan tried to steal the ball, couldn't. Boundary throw in 15 metres out from the doggies' goals.
I can't believe the umpire didn't see that was a throw.
It was almost a layup, wasn't it? The basket anyway. The boundary umpire throws it back. Up they fly. The ball tapped down by the big bloke there in Golding, and the ball snapped in towards goal, but it's offline and through for the minor score to the doggies. 11-6-72 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. Glenelg 8-8-56, this game being brought to you by Good Better Bosch.
Yes, and it's been a good game so far. Central Districts have worked their way to the lead just by sheer persistence and hard football. Glenelg have to do a lot of hard work now to get themselves back into the game. They do trail 8 goals, 8 Glenelg 56. They trail Central's 11 goals, 6-72, and we've played 5 minutes into this final quarter.
Tasborski to bring the ball back into play. Once again, he favours the grandstand side. Venables and Golding for the Bays. The ball spills loose, comes to Moore. Moore goes one way, then the other. He's in trouble though, gets the handball. Josh Carr keeps the ball in play and then gets met by Matthew Slade. And they both go over the line for a boundary throw-in.
Just have a look at the way that Central Districts are setting this up. They've got 3 people on the check side all the time.
Boundary umpire throws the ball back into play. Golding over the back. The ball off to Hyde. Tried to take it. Beautifully taken by Hosking. No, Hosking gave it a Carr. Carr to Tipper Mary. He's going to use his pace. He's had 1 bounce, 2 bounces. The handball looking for Cook. He's missed its target, but Cook's good enough to pick it up. He bangs it right up towards full forward. Up the back of the bag. The ball off hand. A chance now for Geister to pick it up for the doggies. Does so. The handball's not the best you've ever seen. In fact, it does go out of bounds. And the right full forward pocket for the Tigers. And that was a positive move, fellas.
Yeah, that's what we're saying about Glenelg have to do is get some pace through the midfield. Tipper Mary certainly has that. So does Sujay Cook. Relying on guys like Richard Kelly isn't going to do it for him in this game.
McEntee down to Hosking. Hosking, quick kick from the pack, is just offline. Bounces centimetres inside the boundary line and will be thrown back in. Just 5 metres out from the Glenelg goals, and they trail by just 16 points in desperate need of a goal in this final quarter, especially early. Another goal to Centrals. It's their game. Another goal to Glenelg. We've got a ball game on our hands. The ball has been thrown back in and punched back out again. We'll see another boundary throw in. Some important moves. I think although Cook and also Tipper Mary are playing at either end of the grounds, they're both doing some work, heavy work too, in the midfield. So the ball comes out of the defensive 54 Centrals, but lands in the arms of Matty Golding. Oh, jeez, I tell you what,
that's ridiculous.
He was very quick, and what we were saying is ridiculous is that Golding took a mark and McGowan stepped over the mark just momentarily and was given a 25-metre penalty for a result of that. Pretty harsh. Nevertheless, they kick long. McEntee's a target. And McEntee nearly took it too. Got hands to it. Couldn't take the ball. Hereda at ground level tries to keep the ball in. That's dangerous. If some of the decisions that we've seen today is any indication. Coming in hard is Moore. He opens up the door for Carr. Now, Carr's pretty good, even in traffic, and he's very clever. Golding, well, maybe you can't be said the same could be said for him because he handballs to his mate, who was surrounded by 2 Central District players, and he's taken to the ground on the half-back flank grandstand side.
Yes, wasn't the best handball, was it? Put him under enormous pressure as the umpire will bounce the ball. The doggies need the Tigers need a goal here. Bounce down, up they go, off to Hyde, gets the tap towards the boundary line, taken by Michael Radis. The handball over the top to Chickwitten, good, gets it over to Moore. Moore bangs it in towards full forward. Players set themselves, it's going to be a Central District mark. No, taken off hands by Nicholas. Around the body he goes with a left foot snap, but he's offline. In fact, it's out of bounds. in the left full forward pocket. Must have been
Yeah, it was
touched off
touched
the
off
boot.
the boot, and the resulting is a throw-in. Scores here: 8 goals, 8 Glenelg, 56. They trail Centrals, 11 goals, 672.
Harwood, McEntee and also Ufterhide contest the boundary throw-in to Kelly. He's kicked one. Can he make it two? No. Across the face of goals and one to score. Yet another one for the Bays, who have had the same scoring shots now as Central, but find themselves still 15 points behind. Glenelg, 8 goals, 9. That's a total of 57. Central, 11-6, 72.
Kick in now from Guira to the grandstand side. Harwood's there. Will he take the mark? Oh, the ball thumped out of it by off to hide. The handball over is good to McGowan. McGowan once again with a pinpoint handball to Bellow. Bellow to centre half forward. Player set themselves as a doggy mark. It's a mark to... Who is that player, boys? Flatly turns around.
No.
It's Stephen Daniels.
Yep, Stephen Daniels stood his ground there and
Daniel Stevens.
took a good, strong mark. And Daniel Stevens will line up from around about 55 metres out. Will kick from just inside 51 was suggested. With the breeze at his back, shouldn't have any trouble with the distance. And she was could just be about the nail in the coffin. Comes in and it looks like he's hooked it a fraction too far. No, it looks like the big fella Keenan Ford has said that's okay with me, and it certainly is okay with the goal umpire as well. Central Districts now go to 12 goals, 678. They lead Glenelg 8 goals, 957.
Very good conversion rate for the young fella. Just in his third game, that's his 9th goal, and doing pretty well. It was a good, solid mark there at centre half forward, and that really gives Centrals a nice little buffer at about the 10-minute mark of this last quarter.
Yeah, well, he won't be the good, better Bosch Tradelink Building Supplies player of the day, but there's a tough decision to be made straight after this game, and Andrew Underwood's going to make that decision as to who will be awarded the 3-2-1 in this particular game. At least I gave you some warning undies. The ball's bounced down. Golding gets the tap. Falls in the arms of Simon Hill, who falls in the arms of Ricky McGowan, who falls in the arms of a teammate. And the umpire says, listen, guys, break it up. This is getting ridiculous. I'll bounce it down.
Exactly, and the player that actually grabbed him, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Undy's name's him, B.O.G. And I'm talking about Rick McGowan. Down goes the bounce. Up they go. Oh, big thump right up towards half forward by Stewie Dew. It's only about 40 metres from the goal. Scotty Lee, a handball to Slade. Slade to Holm. Holm over the top. What's going to happen here? The ball's been dropped in the square. The Tigers pounce on it. Away come the Tigers. No, they can't. The ball's still in the forward pocket. It squeezes out the back. The handball to Scotty Lee on the left boot. And it's the worst kick you've ever seen in your born natural. Out on the John Bull, and the kick to be taken by Tipperman Tameri.
I'm pretty sure they'll be talking about that tonight, Elizabeth Oval. That's the Scotty Lee kick over his head.
Well, yep, over his head. The only problem was the boundary was right behind him. He had a bit of almost an error. He just got enough boot on it to give the ball away. Nevertheless, the Bays get the ball now and come grandstand side where they're looking for Golding. A good punch too from the front of the pack by Ufterhide.
Golding there just gave away front spot too easy there. He's got a big frame like that. He should be able to hold his opponent out directly and take the mark in front.
Ufterhide, no relation to the people that own the Lenzer Hyde. The ball tapped down by Golding to Byrne. Byrne's left foot kick is sloppy. First player there will be Hopwood. He dropped what he maybe should have taken, as did 2 or 3 others in the end. And Guerra, who's been excellent all day, is not so good on this occasion because his left foot kick towards half forward was offline and out of bounds, as Dennis Brown will tell you, on the John Bull. And Matty Golding will take the free kick on the intersection of 50 and boundary. Grandstand side, the Bays are by 21 points, or they trail by 21 points, and we've played 10 minutes of this final quarter. Golding centres the ball up somewhat. A good strong mark, though, by the Doggies, and the player that took it was Murray Hamlin.
Hamlin now, he's a long way from goal. He's about 80 metres. The umpire calls play on, so he's got to go on the left boot and tip it around. He's got a player there coming out, and that was Daniel Stevens. He couldn't take the ball. Pounced on by the Bay defence, or the Bay player there. I'll try and pick him up for you when he emerges from the pack. It might be Ben Moore. It was, and he was the player at the bottom of the pack. Down goes the bounce. Danger signs here as the ball bounces off the head of Daniel Stevens. He's going to get a free kick. I didn't know that was a free kick. He must have been shoved. The umpire said he was pushed.
In the back, I think, and
Maybe a chance, Smithy, from there, wouldn't he?
it's a long kick, though. He's kicking with the breeze. He's going to kick from around about 55 metres. Stevens has a good
He's a
turn.
good kick.
He is a good kick. Comes in, he runs out onto the right-hand side. He's missed kick. This one has landed in the top of the square. Can we take a mark? No, the Central's player over the top has forced the ball down. Barco Bello has a swing at it, but couldn't kick it. and then it's beginning held up, and the umpires come in and said, I will have it, thanks, and bounced the ball.
Poppy, can you see the bays getting up? They just don't look like at the moment, do they?
Look, I don't think so. That breeze is probably becoming more and more significant in this last quarter, and trailing by 21 points. I can't see it, but stranger things have happened in football. In fact, we were here a couple of years ago when Sturt and the Bays fought out a surprising result. I think on that particular day the Bays had the game sewn up until the last minute of the game when Sturt stole it from them in the end in Tony McGuinness's first year. Let's hope we get a close finish again today. The ball back in play and back out of play, still only metres from Central District goals. Central District 12-6, 78. Glenelg 8-9, 57. 15 minutes plus have gone, or getting close to 15 minutes anyway, of this final quarter. It's forward up against Golding. Golding taps the ball inboard, always dangerous because Scotty Lee turns and kicks with his right foot. This one smothered. Guerra's probably a better finisher than Lee, but his kick again, he's offline. He's kicked two out of bounds on the ball. Did McCardle mark it? He did. He marked it inches inside the boundary line. Now in the first quarter, the Glenelg side, Hams had an opportunity to kick a goal. Didn't open up the angle quite enough, and his execution wasn't just right. Let's see if Sam McCardle can do a better job. He's going to kick a punt kick, and he goes for goal. It goes across the face of goal and through. No, in fact, out of bounds on the full. So Glenelg win possession of the ball at a crucial stage, and they still trail by 21 points.
Yes, and the kick has been marked out there by Hill. Simon Hill in the back pocket for the Tigers. They've got to get goals, and they've got to get them quick, smart, as Hill will drive the ball along that outer side, the half-back. Up they fly. Golding in front, takes it on the second grab. He's got his hands on a lot of balls today, but he hasn't been able to mark most of them. That one he did as he tips it into the lead there of Harwood. Harwood gets the lightning handball over to Carr. Carr feints the handball out to Chigwood, and Chigwood... the smother's an absolute gem there. Who was that player? It was a reporter. Guerra, was it? Magnificent smother, and the umpires pinged him for holding the ball. Fair dinkum. What a magnificent smother that was. And Sir J. Cook emerges with the football now. The high ball towards centre-half forward. McIntyre in front, up high. The ball goes through his hands at the back. Bellow twists, turns, drops the foot. He comes to Joseph Hicks, or Damien Hicks gives it to Michael Stevens. He in turn gives it to Geister, I think it was. Geister now to Hopwood. Hopwood will put it on the right boot. He's got Daniel Holm all by himself, and that's the way the footy goes. Oh, big Golding laid an absolute rip snorter of a tackle on Danny Holm. Almost put him down 6 feet under the ground as Holm goes to the lead there of the player in front, and the mark taken by Daniel Stevens.
Yeah, good play there by Central Districts. Again, switching play, but the smother over there and the resulting free kick, you can understand Peter Jonas would not be upset with the free kick there because the smother was absolutely fantastic. Stevens has ended up with the ball. He's kicked already one goal in this quarter, kicking from around about 35 metres out. Has pushed it far too across the goal, and has kicked a minor score. Central's now 12 goals, 7-79. They lead Glenelg 8 goals, 9-57 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard, and we've played 15 minutes into this final quarter.
Just tried to guide the ball there, Stevens, and didn't really give it much of an opportunity. Just 2 or 3 steps and just give it a bit of a poke, and should have kicked through the ball right outside that right-hand post, and it might have come back with a breeze. But nevertheless, pretty easy sitting here, Poppy, isn't it?
It is indeed. I'm finding it quite comfortable. In fact, I think I'm a contender for the Trader Link and a good, better Boss player of the day. The ball brought back into play. Slade goes short, looking for Stevens once more, who's been busy in this last quarter. Didn't find that player out of play. 10 metres out from the Doggies' goals, and the Doggies searching for the sealer in this final quarter. Lead by 22 points. They're pretty keen to be leading by a lot more than that if they get the opportunity. The ball thrown back into play. Ford was held in that ruck contest. The umpire didn't pick that up. A quick kick off the ground. Goes over the boundary line. Raiders was the player who kicked it off the ground, and it will be another boundary throw-in. The pace of this game has slowed somewhat in the last 5 or 6 minutes. Let's see if it can't pick up a little bit if the Doggies can transfer. Oh, geez, I tell you what, Ford was taken too high. Dew was taken too high. The umpire agrees with me on the second occasion, although my fellow commentators don't, and James Burns certainly didn't agree with this decision.
Oh, the free kick was there, but it was the second one.
Second one, that's right.
Stuart Dew will
line up from around about 35 metres, 45-degree angles. Kicked 2 goals so far, both in the second quarter. And, gee whiz, Central Districts have played pretty good football. Certainly this goal will certainly put it out of the reach of the Glenelg side. Comes in on the left foot. There's a little bit of a tired leg, and he has kicked it straight though, and it's gone through for his third goal. Central Districts now go to 13 goals 785. They lead Glenelg 8 goals 957 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And courtesy of Michelle's Patisserie, we'll check scores from around the grounds.
We've got the Eagles 17-13, 115, leading Norwood 6-9, 45. Port 15-10, 100, leading South 15-8, 98. West 12-12, 84, leading North Adelaide 8-13, 61. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Bitcham. Let's go back to the Bay.
Yeah, back here at the Bay, it's Central District's quite comfortable at the moment, but DB, geez, Glenelg have been a little bit disappointing, haven't they?
Well, they have, and we said that when they were down at three-quarter time with the breeze at their back, the Doggies would be hard to stop, and that's exactly what happened. In fact, I think that breeze has picked up, that wind socket blowing very strongly, right above the Delights sign. And actually,
what's happening here? Why the hold-up? What's the umpires looking down there and seeing...
A blood rule, was it?
No.
Yeah, it was. A player came off with a blood rule and...
okay, had to wait for the other player to come
Only reason it would be held up, I would say.
Fair enough.
As the umpire's got the bounce, down it goes, taken by Golding. On the right boot, up towards half forward. At the back, it's going to be a tiger mark. It might be Hosking back there. In fact, it is. He gives it over to Ben Moore. He goes in short and finds James Byrne. No, it's not. Hardwood will chip it in to no one in particular. It's a shocking kick. Out comes Slade. He's had a few touches in this last quarter. He tips it over and looking for McGowan. He knew there was a body behind him. It didn't worry him. Gets the handball back to Holm. Holm back to McGowan to Slade. Slade will tip it over the top to Holm. In fact, it's Scotty Lee. Scotty Lee on the left boot now. Up towards half forward. Off the hands of the big fella in Golding. He's tackled strongly by forward. Forced over the boundary line. And it's out of bounds, left half forward flank.
The one thing that saved him there, he was over the boundary line when he handballed it.
I think you're right too. The ball at the moment, half forward line, grandstand side. The Doggies into attack and leading by 28 points. Ball thrown back into play. Good knock forward off the ground by Dew. In there fighting hard. Daniel Stevens. Handballs looking for McGowan. Now coming with the ball is Slade, who's been one of the best in this last quarter. Beautiful vision and beautiful precision with the kick. Opens the door for Stewie Dew to kick his second in the last 5 minutes. And 4 for the day for the Port Power star, who probably finds himself only a week or two away from returning to the AFL.
If he keeps his form up and keeps consistently kicking goals, he'd have to be picked. And Stewie Dew found himself with plenty of space there, coming in from 35 metres out directly in front. The left foot drop punt on its way. The goal umpire hasn't moved too far. That's his fourth. He's second for this quarter. He kicked 2 in the second quarter, 2 in the fourth quarter. Central Districts now 14 goals, 791. They lead Glenelg 8 goals, 957 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And we've just started time on Nundies.
He's had an interesting day, hasn't he, Stewie Dew? Kicking 4, which was a good effort. I would have thought, though, that he should have had more of an impact on the game and perhaps got more of the footy rather than just popping in for 4 or 5 kicks. Well, it is his first game back, and look, we are into time on, and the good, better Bosch player of the day, 3 votes to Ricky McGowan, 2 votes to Guerra, and 1 vote to young Marco Bello.
That's the way you see it? You're not going to change your mind over the next 10 minutes?
Well, considering we're into time on, I think we've probably only got 3 or 4 minutes of the game.
If McGowan gets reported and suspended for the next 8 weeks for a series of indiscretions?
Yet I said he's the best player, not best and fairest.
Stuart Dew comes up and kicks another 3 goals in the last 3 minutes.
Kicked 7 for the day. Geez, there's so many variables in their undies. Nevertheless, if you say he's best, I agree with you. Tipper Mandameri comes in nicely. Skips around 2 or 3 Central District opponents and kicks to the top of the square. Who's out the back? It's all Doggies and it's through for a minor score. Glenelg 8 goals, 10-58. Central 14-7-91. Down at Alberton Oval, we've got a good game on our hands, and as I said before the start of this game, Port Adelaide is sure to lose 1 or 2 this year, but I tell you what, they're going to be hard. Central District with the ball with Guerra. Comes grandstand side. Looking for Damien Hicks and finding that player. Damien Hicks with his buttocks on the boundary fence, and then decides to change direction, which is probably play on, and he wasn't on the footy fields. But anyway, the umpires wouldn't have picked that up. They've had problems picking a couple of more simpler things up today. They transfer play to the Doggies, and they've done it pretty well today. Lee to Harada now. Harada back to Lee. Lee says hooray and has a bounce of the ball. Bounds away now from outer side centre wing. Centres the ball up. Not really a good kick. In fact, it falls in the arms of Simon Nicholas for Glenelg, and he's currently in the defensive 50 for Glenelg.
Yeah, Nicholas now Been perhaps a disappointing day for the Tigers. He gives it over to Golding, and Golding will mark the ball, but they really haven't gained anything. In fact, they've gone backwards, probably gone back 2 or 3 metres there, and Golding's almost in the back pocket now as he puts it on the right boot towards the boundary line. Going to go very close up in front. McIntyre, though, will he take the mark? Yeah, the umpire says he's okay, and as he tips it across there and finds his teammate in Venables. Venables now backward of centre wing. Oh, shocking kick off the boot. It's going to fall in the centre of the ground. An opportunity now for Raiders. Damien Raiders now on the right boot. Couldn't do anything with it. He's still got the ball. Handball's out to Michael Raiders. He'll bend down and pick it up. Gets the handball over the top. It's a good one. Gives it to Hosking. Hosking in turn to Josh Carr. Carr now will bang the short pass. It's a beauty. And he's found the teammate up in the right full forward pocket. It looks like Sherwood. And Sherwood takes the mark. He'll kick from about 30 metres.
Yes, he will kick from 30 metres to the into the teeth of the breeze. It's really doesn't matter anymore because Glenelg have lost this game. Centrals have played pretty good football most of the day, and he's pushed it past the face of the goal. A minor score resulting to Glenelg. They go now to 9 goals, 11-59. They trail Centrals 14 goals, 7-91 on the Torrens Arms Hotel scoreboard. And the fat lady is loosening up there, DB.
Yes, and been loosening up for about 10 or 15 minutes, I'd say, Poppy.
Well, at this stage, she's been loosening up for so long, she's actually lost about 15 kilos, and she's actually quite an attractive woman. The doggies through Geister go towards that outer side. Golding's over the top, but can't take the mark, and it finds itself over the boundary line again. Half forward flank, Glenelg into attack, but the ball over the boundary line as we see an interchange being made for the doggies.
Yes, Hopwood off and Big Redley Moller on.
The ball thrown back into play. Golding tried to take that one out of the air as he's done for most of the day. Dew in there fighting hard, as is about 3 or 4 players from either sides. The umpires picked one out. I tell you what, these umpires, I reckon, work part-time as magicians because I'm not sure how they pull some of these free kicks out, but they do. Tipperman Mary kicks to within 30 metres of his team's goals. Scotty Lee, who's been okay, hasn't he, since he's come on? Good. Kick over the head, lands in the arms of Slade. Slade to Moller. Ooh. Moller to his teammate there in forward. Forward, a one-on-one contest. McArdle, he'll work like Billy-O to keep that ball in his 50, and he couldn't quite keep the or make the tackle stick, and that tackle was going to be on Venables, who now bounds away. 1, 2 bounces. He's going to go for a third, and he's going to run into trouble. Ball, one handball over the top, and then he ducked the oncoming shirt front. Byrne, who's been somewhat disappointing given that he's one of the better players, gets the ball on this occasion and kicks directly to his opposition in
Joseph.
Yes, our friend Joseph Hicks. He plays on quickly, does Hicks, and finds McGowan. McGowan, well, he hasn't got much speed, but he's got plenty of time, and he finds his teammate on this occasion, Marco Bello, on a lead from the half-back flank.
Yeah, he chips it into the centre to Damien Hicks. Hicks with a drop punt to centre half forward. Daniel Stevens, tell you what, he's given him some bite up there in this last quarter. Good use of the body, got rid of Venables, and marks the ball will kick from about 51.5 metres.
Yes, he certainly will. He's, as DB said, given a bit of bite for Centrals up there. And he'll kick from outside 50. The wind has been favouring that end of the ground all day. Stevens ignores the lead from McArdle. Comes in with a drop punt. It's on its way. It's going to certainly make the difference, but it's going to drift past for a minor score. Central District's 8th minor score, 14 goals, 8-92. They lead Glenelg 8 goals, 11-59. And courtesy of the Michelle's Patisserie, we'll go back to the studio to get scores from around the ground.
Yes, it's Port Adelaide 16-11, 107, leading South 15-8, 98. The Eagles 17-14, 116, leading Norwood 11-11, 77. And West Adelaide and North Adelaide 12-14, 86 points apiece. Those scores thanks to Michelle's Patisserie at Hollywood Plaza. Back to the Bay.
Yeah, a couple of close games elsewhere, boys. And South obviously doing a terrific job down there at Alberton. And at Prospect, Westies look to have a bit of a lead there. But the Roosters have fought back and she's all tied up. So I think the SANFL competition is alive and very, very well at this stage.
Certainly is.
Boundary umpire throws the ball back into play, taken by Carr. The handball ends up with Tipperman Mary. He gives it in turn to Kelly. Kelly in turn to Moore. Moore's at centre wing now. He's thinking about a bounce. He's got the big bloke after him. Stewie Dew did well. He forced the chase there as the ball comes around to Sudjay Cook. Cook now will have a bounce inside 50. He kicks an absolute shocker. He tried to do perhaps a little bit too much, and the ball's ended up with Damien Hicks, but in fairness to Cook, he did chase after that player as it came over to the player there in...
Off to hide.
Off to Hyden. He gets it back up toward 10.5 forward, but Tipperman Mary's there. Gave it over to Carr. Carr tips it back to centre wing, and Sherwood takes the mark right in front of the 5 RPH commentary position. Dodges around his opponent there in Michael Stephen, who chased him valiantly, caught the jumper, almost put it out of bounds in the full. It bounces back into play. Fighting Harada's got it, but emerging with the football now for the Doggies, but he's kicked it out of bounds on the John Bull, and that player was our good friend in Guira.
Some very tired boys out there now.
You're not wrong, and Hosking is one of them. He's got the ball half-forward flank. Grandstand side. The Bay's not giving up. But this game is beyond them, I can tell you that. And I can tell you with a fair degree of certainty. Paul Sherwood, half-forward, centres the ball up. Who's his target going to be? Well, it's not that player who took the ball, because that player who took the ball was Radley Muller, and he's in the opposition side. He handballs quickly, finds Joseph Hicks. Joseph Hicks has got a player running, and it's that man again in Stevens. Stevens kicks towards the lead of McArdle. McArdle's being led to the ball momentarily as Taborski finds himself over the boundary line, and DB thought that was going to be deliberate. Did you not?
I did, yes. He just stepped straight over it.
It looked like it, didn't it? Glenelg 8:11:59 Central 14:8:92. Only moments to go of this final quarter. Remembering, of course, we've got obligations at 5 o'clock, so straight after this game, we'll be ducking back, and there is the game. We'll be ducking back to the studios of 5 RPH. Just wrapping up this game, Glenelg 8:11:59, beaten comprehensively in the end by Central District 14:8:92. We've got enough time to give you goal scorers, Daryl Smith.
Yeah, goal scorers for Central Districts. You had 4 to Stuart Dew, 3 to Sam McArdle, and then you had 2 to Chris Gowans and 2 also to Keenan Fawn. Singles to Daniel Holm, Scotty Lee and Daniel Stevens. Goal scorers for Glenelg, there weren't too many of them. You had Benjamin McEntee with 2, Troy Hosking with 2, Simon Nicholas with 1, Richard Kelly with 1, James Byrne with 1 and Eugene Warrior 1. The final scores here, it is 14 goals, 8:92. Glenelg 8 goals, 11:59. Central Districts running out comfortable winners in the 5 RPH Game of the Day, brought to you by Good Better Bosch.
Just remember